Panago Pizza presents SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Guys,
Pal.
it's almost Valentine's Day.
Sure is, pal.
Best day of the year.
The only day of the year, some might say.
They
Yeah.
changed the calendar.
In
I am
fact,
thousands of years old. That's how this works.
well,
Because of Valentine's.
what you need to know about Valentine's is that we're celebrating it on February 13th, and on February 13th, you and a friend, well, 3 friends, custom pizza, prize packs. There's one of 25 to be won at Panago_pizza with a P on.
Popping peas at them?
Yeah, on Instagram. So Panago_pizza. Tag your friends. Panago tagged us, which is
Panago?
super sweet of them.
Because we're
And-
their friends.
And they were like, pow. Here's
And
a
I said,
couple
Panago.
pals.
Panago.
Anyway, so we're
Is this that Mad TV bit where the coach, he's spitting? It was, who was it? Was it Key or Peel who did the bit?
Key. That was Key.
Yeah.
Michael Key, yeah?
Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah.
so funny.
So
What the
funny.
guy was like, God damn it, he put his foot on
Yeah.
the... Yeah. That was,
So anyway, so look out for Valentine's Day. It's February 13th. That's Thursday, which is tomorrow, because today is Wednesday, and as of today, the Leafs have taken 5 of their last 6 points, guys.
woo! Everything's fixed. They're fine.
They're great.
Delete the last episode now. They're fine. Everything's
man.
great. Turn off the air conditioning so I can yell louder about how they're fine.
If I turn off the air conditioning, I'm gonna get really hot and then very uncomfortable.
It's that, or everyone gets, thousands of people get to hear
All right,
for
fine.
like an hour and a half. Here, no, it's okay. Here, try to talk about hockey.
I gotta get a fan in here, man. It's too bloody hot.
Now we all get to see your hot shirt.
My iHeart,
Look at that.
iHeart Radio shirt.
Yeah.
Show the camera.
Where the hearts
Oh.
are your nipples. That's branding.
That's right.
Look at that, pal. You like
See?
that?
You see?
Don't rub your nipples.
Rub your nipples.
Sorry, what's wrong with rubbing your nipples on
Episode
camera?
title is nipple.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Nope.
I heart nipples.
I heart nipples.
It's not.
Bell Media. Adam Wilde and Jesse Blake say, I heart nipples. Bell Media.
I don't have big nipples, but they
No?
are pointy.
Well, everyone
are
gets to
pointy.
see them every couple months because you're always like, here they are on Instagram. And I'm like, that's my pal's nipples. Those are my nip pals. What?
What about hockey?
What about it?
What about it?
What about it?
Hockey has nipples. How many players on a team? 20? That's 40 nipples right there. the refs, don't forget there's the other team. There are close to 100 nipples on the ice and in the bench area at any given moment.
Wow,
I
that's
don't know what we
true.
do with this.
No. Well, listen. Has anybody considered them though?
Yeah.
And we hadn't considered
Steve
the nipples.
has, clearly.
February
Yeah.
14th is Valentine's, 13th is Valentine's, and 12th is Nipalentine's. It's when we spread Nipal awareness.
About Nepal?
Yes.
The place?
It's a very important place with a variety of things, none of which I can name.
They have mountains.
I bet they do. And variety of, I want to say they have which is which? Bactrian camels, which are the ones with 2 humps instead of 1. Those are dromedaries.
How many nipples are in Nepal?
Millions. Millions of them.
By the way, Bactrians, if I'm not mistaken, that was one of the successor kingdoms of Alexander the Great. 4
Cool.
kingdoms.
Of course you know that. And how many nipples did he have?
He had just 2, from what I understand, but it was
Can we confirm that?
Egypt, Seleucia, Bactria, and I believe just Macedonia. So there you go.
Macedonia.
There you go. Well, because he was a Macedonian.
Known for their
Obviously.
nipples.
They were very much known for their nipple. They had those lightly fitting togas on.
Yeah.
Nipples everywhere back then.
They were known for nipple. But those togas left you wondering, what's the other one look
What does
like?
the other? You can't just
Right?
see one. You got to see the other one, right?
Right.
Here's the,
There was such a tease.
No, yeah.
It's a very
Here's
roll
one
the dice
nipple.
society.
With your sandals and your one nipple, and your Plato and your Aristotle. Ooh, come at me with that knowledge and those nips. Anyway, so hockey.
Leafs won.
Yeah, the Leafs did win, and they won. Woo! Woo! Thank goodness. But let's get into who are the Crown first. We have partnered with Crown Royal, as you know, to live generously. And our friends at Crown Royal have...
Make sure to send the lead up to the segment to them. Be sure. And also Panago.
Listen.
If you would like to advertise with the Steve Dangle podcast,
send them the nipple clip.
listen to the nipple clip. And check out Adam's nipples at adam.wild on Instagram. Is that
No,
it?
it's just Adam Wild. It says
Adam Wild.
Jesse.Blake.
He didn't need the dot. He's that important.
Somebody named Jesse Blake, took Jesse Blake's thing and is just squatting on it.
Son of a gun!
He's just a guy. I don't know where he lives. He's living his life.
Yo, we need to message him and be like, yo, Jesse Blake.
I might ask him for it one
Give it
day.
over to the real
Just
Jesse
level with
Blake.
him.
Yeah.
Hey, man. I have nipples too. Like, we can relate.
What is happening?
Is that what I do? Is that how I approach this
And
stranger?
we drop nipples
Nipple haver.
now. And nipples drops. Okay. No more nipples.
Can you hold yourself back?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Adam?
Live generously and life treats you royally. We need to know who wore the crown. It's important. So why not pour yourself in a front of Crown Royal?
God.
Sorry, let me start that again. Why not pour yourself in a front of Crown Royal? Because we're going to talk about who wore the crown, where we, with the help of all you fans out there, recognize a Leaf player each show who gives it their all for the blue and white because it is our town. It's our crown. It's not about what you have, but what you have to give.
What
Let's
is it?
crown a Leaf that lives generously by giving it all for the team. Brought to you by your friends at Crown Royal. Live generously and life will treat you royally. Let us get into it. Steve Dangle, based on last night's game, who gets your crown?
You know, when you're wrong, you're wrong. And it's not something, I'm not good at being wrong because it's something I do so seldom. Right? I'm always correct.
Did you get too much sleep or too much coffee?
Yes.
Which one is okay?
Damn, I wish I had a coffee.
Yeah.
I want to be one of these.
There's one. Have a free Bell coffee.
You work at Bell Media, where all the coffee is
That's
free.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
I've heard it's not like that elsewhere.
Yeah, at Red Company.
Every time I have a coffee in this building, I am taking away resources from the Montreal Canadiens because they play in Le Centre Bell. So I'm just doing my part, folks. And you know who hates the Montreal Canadiens? Lifelong Leafs fan and current Leaf and 2-goal scorer last night and first-time crown haver,
Yeah.
Zachary. Love Zachary's Hyman. Yeah. Yeah. It's called the Zach Hyman hat trick, where he scores 2 goals,
And falls 40 times.
falls 40 times because he's fucking battling.
How many?
Scores 1 goal that's actually low-key sick, and has another one just go off his knee. Zach Hyman, damn it.
You know,
How many Jack Campbell butt slaps does that get?
Oh, man.
Jack Campbell is the king of the butt slap.
It would
Yeah.
at least match the amount of nipples on the ice.
would he match the Pierre Maguire butt slap that he
No.
was giving the Bruins that game we saw?
Nothing could ever match
He
that
was
number.
going right in on that booty.
Yeah.
Like, wow, Brad Marchand.
Full palm.
Full palm.
Oh,
Yeah. We talk about that as if that didn't happen, and it really did. You think we're joking.
Sometimes they think it don't be that way, but it do.
But it do.
Or however. Yeah, so
However,
anyway,
T-Pain said it.
Zach Hyman is pretty good at hockey, and he was especially good at hockey last night, so I give it to him. Butt slap nipple.
People don't think it be like it be, but it do.
Damn.
That is the quote. And it is such a great quote. Now-
Have you seen the Newfoundlanders playing hockey Terry Ryan clip from Letterkenny?
No.
You stay where you're to, I'll come where you're at.
That's very much
Another language
Yep.
out there in Newfoundland.
Newfoundland has taken the English language and said, we'll rearrange this a bit.
Yeah.
They have all the same words, they're used in a different order, I think.
Taken English and said, we'll see about that.
So here's mine. This is a guy that
Here's a guy.
I think that has drawn a lot of criticism lately.
Whoa.
But not necessarily because of him, it's because of the position he's been put in. A position that a lot of people say, you know what, he can't succeed at.
Wow.
And last night, I'm not sure if he succeeded at that particular position, but he still stood out to me. And that guy is Zach Hyman!
Hey!
Two
Double
goals,
crown.
2 crowns. And you know what? The reason I say that is a lot of people are like, yo, what's he doing on the power play? And sometimes I'm like, yo, I agree. What is that? And the
I
Leafs power play...
suggested that like 2 years ago.
What, put him on it?
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of people are saying, what's he doing
At
on it?
very least last year.
People are trying to figure out why he's there. Now, let me tell you
Being
this.
sick.
I don't know if
Getting
his
rewarded for being
goal
good.
came on the power play last night. One of his goals, but
Well, he was set up by JT, but no, he was on a line with him. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
What doesn't matter here is that the
Yes.
information that matters is in 28 games, the guy has 27 points.
Dope.
That's for a guy that's making less than I read today 3% of the cap. That's not bad.
Who would you rather have, Adam? Guy with 38 games played this season, 16 goals, 14 assists, 30 points.
16 goals.
14 assists, 30 points in 38 games. Or guy who's played 46 games, 14 goals, 15 assists, 29 points. Who would you rather have?
The guy with less games and more points.
Right. Well, that's Zach Hyman.
And who are you comparing him to?
Jason Zucker.
Oh, that trade. We'll talk about that trade.
Just saying.
We'll talk about that trade.
I like Jason Zucker.
I like him too.
But just saying.
But that trade.
Hyman's having himself a season.
He is on a bit of a shooting percentage heater. Let me just throw that out there.
The Hyman stat is 27 in 27.
Oh, it's 27 and 27
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
There you go.
There
So
you
he
go.
was a little slow coming out of the gate there, and just heated right. The ball's up.
Jesse.
I gotta do something here.
Yeah, this one's tough.
I got one crown,
One crown.
so it's going to one guy.
One shot.
It's one guy that we invented on this podcast.
We invented him.
A long time ago.
Sophie Merckx.
Who?
No? Yeah, never mind.
I don't know what that is.
It's not Smart Insider Man, because Smart Insider Man is real. We didn't invent him. But we
Very
invented Marlander Thews.
Yes.
Oh.
The line of Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander.
And it went great, and we're going to stick to it.
And it didn't. So I have to give my crown to Marlander Thews, because I have a tendency to hand my crown out to one individual,
Oh.
and then it motivates them to have an amazing season.
Wow.
So I am going to bestow my crown onto Marlander Thews
As a
The
trio.
line.
as a trio, as one. And we will see their success in the coming months and
I
weeks.
think we will. I think you got to give him more than one game.
I think you do as well. But this crown is going to spark them. Garrett sparks them.
Oh, well, no.
Into-
no
Listen,
we
all they
it.
want,
No,
all they
no,
want, Steve,
no,
is a shot.
No.
They just
well-
want a shot, Steve.
Oh, we're going to send them to the minors then. That's what? I'm sorry.
Top
Google
line on
Maps
the San
line.
Diego Gulls next year. Anyway,
Yeah. Hey. What up?
Marlander Thews did not have a good game. Mitch Martin. Austin Matthews looked kind of lost at some moments. He was trying to do some things with the puck and didn't really work. William Nylander still looks sick.
Yes.
And along with John Tavares, which is very concerning that everyone on the team is getting sick. But yeah, Willie still looks sick and probably could have sat out that last game. Mitch Marner looked all right, but the line did not work, even though I give kudos to Keith for trying it. So I'm going to give my crown to that line of Marlander Thews, because hopefully he sticks with it and this becomes our line of death. Let's go.
Yes, I would like that very
Let's
much.
go.
Let's go.
There you
Let
go.
Let go.
there you go. So, guys, that's who wore the crown for this week. Brought to you by, as always, Crown Royal. Next time the puck drops, why not?
Why not?
Live generously and treat your Leafs crew to a Crown Royal Old Fashioned. So the Leafs game last night was interesting because it started off and I was like, uh-oh, tire fire.
Oh, I was miserable.
First goal, first shot.
No, you were miserable.
Well, because like they just
Were you
know.
watching ice surfing? He was like, well, here's some social media reaction to here's what people are saying.
Here's what they're.
Yeah,
all having
Okay,
fun.
I'm going to be Jeff Merrick, and then Adam, you're going to be Steve.
Say
and
something super smart and intellectual. Go.
Okay, and I'm going to throw to you. So in 1986, Paul Revere fought Tommy Hill, and the fight lasted 5 minutes and 42 seconds, and that was the longest fight on a Tuesday of February in 1986. Now, Steve, what is Twitter saying?
Twitter saying the Jets are not the Jets and Coyotes, whatever this franchise is. I don't know. And they're doing stuff, and I'm not happy about it.
I'm Jason York.
Here's a great story, and I'm a nice guy.
Yeah. I'm pleasant, and if anyone says anything negative about me, Steve will kick your ass. That's my Jason York impression.
So okay, so you're in the. Here's the thing: when you're on the air and that stuff happens, it's got because you can't.
Right.
Steve's not a guy who's like, people are like, well, the show must go on. No, this is the show.
I will derail this.
So how did it go? What'd you do, man?
Excuse me. It's time for me to be catered to. Me. No, there are times where if the game is getting heated, like I will actually have to physically turn my body away from the TV and not watch it, like while people are talking, or like while we have a guest on, like. Cassie Campbell Pascal's on, and like I rarely get asked to participate in the interviews, and I'm sitting there because I think it's 2-1 at that point when we had her on. I'm just like I'm just raging.
Yep.
But I can't. There's a show going on, and there's an Olympian that we have on as a guest. I should maybe chill, and I was finding it very difficult to find my chill because they're making fun of me the second I walk in. Oh, my land with you, Steve. Like, oh, the big line, the negotiation line. Oh,
$30 million, one line.
And I cut them off. I bet, because they go, I bet they get scored on in the first, and I go 31 seconds. That's how long it's going to take for them to get scored on.
Is that what you said?
I was wrong, 64. It took them, well, and it wasn't them.
Yeah,
but,
it was after the first shift. Yeah.
Right. But it took the Leafs 64 seconds to get scored on, and I'm just like,
to be fair
off.
to them, they did tie it up.
And
also,
win.
the goal, both the Coyotes' goals weren't that great goals.
No, they were
They're
both
very lucky.
Yeah, they were both sort of. I thought it was a little bit of the Leafs making their own luck, but they were both pretty fluky. Like the awkward bounce in front for the first goal. I don't even think it was a save. Like it wasn't a rebound. I think it bounced off a leg. And then the second one was actually a really good read from Nylander, sort of semi-intercepts it. He takes off because he's expecting Matthews to get it. He's going to send me a sick Matthews sauce pass. I'm going to have a breakaway. It's going to be 2-1, and everyone's going to go, Willie, he's not sick anymore. Nope. Ends up in the back of the net from a lazy Coyote shot from a guy who wasn't even looking.
Yeah, Jack Campbell was not in that sequence at all.
Because he's not expecting the shot, and it was a milestone goal because, of course, it was Soderberg's 100th career, and it just had frustrating Leafs loss written all over it.
Right.
I wasn't totally buying into the Coyotes played last night. Why are the Leafs? What? Dude, did I not nail it a week and a half ago when Travis Dermott missed a game, right? Because he was sick. And I'm like, really? You think one guy's sick? The whole team is clearly riddled with it. They're playing like shit. And I don't think it's a coincidence why. Thank God they pulled it out. I needed that for my soul. I know you're saying they've earned 5 of 6 possible points over the last 3, and that's great.
It's not something he's saying. It's just factual information about the last 3 games.
No, but I created it.
It's similar to last year, though. Listen,
and Martin Marigan is immature.
All right.
And Garrett Sparks is good.
No,
Hey, so is James Reimer. No, I'm kidding. No, I love James. I just do it to bug you. I do. Yo, when are we going to have him on, man?
Yeah, we should have him on.
How the hell hasn't that happened?
He's a starting goalie for a team that's trying to make the playoffs right now there, Adam. So
it's crazy that we've not had James Reimer on. But anyway.
It is.
So you the first couple, like the goals that they score are goals that go in. There are just those are things that happen in hockey.
Yeah.
The one thing that I did like is that they came back.
Yes.
And I know that it's like, okay, but they have to come back too much. That's the problem. Yes. But they did. And in overtime, I mean, if there was ever a dictionary definition of what goaltender interference is, it's the step on and Jack Campbell goal.
You thought so? I thought it was...
The guy literally moved Jack Campbell's stick. I don't know how you get much.
Maybe I missed the stick part.
Yeah, no, his leg was in between Jack Campbell's legs. Like you can't.
I did see that.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
Because Rick Tocchet after the game only filled his diaper halfway, and he said, "I thought it was supposed to be egregious." And I'm looking, I'm like,
no, it's not.
I thought it was goaltender interference. I didn't know if it was egregious, but I'm glad it benefited my team.
Oh, come on, Rick. Rick is saying that because he has to.
Well,
Rick knows.
He can only say that.
Then he proceeded to say Toronto 96 times. Toronto, the decision in Toronto. Just
he knows what he's doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, and all
and it's
the
rigged.
Coyotes media back home are saying, "Hey, Rick, you're right."
Well, so the ice surfing broadcast, we
That
had
guy is saying that, you mean. The media is
we had
one
the
guy.
oh, how dare you? How dare you?
I don't know how much media they have. I think it's not a lot.
Some.
They have
some. All right. How dare?
I don't know.
Listen.
I've never been to Arizona.
You would love Arizona.
And, yeah,
It's beautiful.
you would.
Yeah.
You'll talk to strange people like Adam did, and have a mystical time.
Sedona was interesting for sure, but I think like Phoenix, Scottsdale, beautiful.
All the
Okay.
Dales.
Stunning.
You'll see so many Dales.
Yeah.
And Boomhauer
Hank.
and Hank.
Are they in
the
Arizona?
other
Or are they
one.
supposed to
they're
be in Texas? Okay.
Yeah, Arlington.
Con.
Anyway,
So, oh yeah, the Toronto. Oh, Toronto getting the benefit of the Toronto being in Toronto. So, you think the NHL is rigged in the Leafs' favor, do you? Folks, I got news for you. If it is, they're not doing a great job.
no.
The Leafs spend the cap every year. They are above the cap currently. I believe they were flirting with last place in the NHL, and they were a cap team. They have not won a playoff series since 2004. They have not won a Stanley Cup since 1967. If the NHL is rigged in the Leafs' favor, someone might want to let NHL officials in on the job because it hasn't paid dividends.
No.
It's not rigged in the Leafs' favor. It's just a thing that whiny babies say when their diaper is full and shit needs to come out of somewhere else.
Right.
It's stupid. Anyway,
Kasperi Kapanen. Nice goal.
Yeah.
what a guy.
He's got wheels. Now, copper and blue today. That's the Oilers SB Nation. Is it SB Nation?
Yes, it is.
They're tweeting about how they think Adam Larson for Kasperi Kapanen is a fair trade, but JP, as in Jesse Puljujarvi, and Adam Larson for Kasperi Kapanen is not a fair trade, and the Leafs would have to give more. And then there are people who believe that Puljujarvi's ceiling might be higher than Kapanen's in Edmonton.
Wow, there's a lot of wrong things in succession.
You said some stuff.
So what do we...
Actually, no, I would. Puljujarvi was a 4th overall pick. His ceiling is higher than Kapanen's. However,
maybe.
Yeah, let's have him play in the NHL first.
Yeah.
Right. and he's had both hips operated on, man.
Yeah,
that
he's
matters.
done well.
Sure.
In Finland. You know, it's, if we're talking about the European leagues, it's not better than Sweden. It's not better than KHL. Like, is it better than the Swiss league? Maybe. Like, yeah. I don't know, man.
It's just not the
Where
same.
did this come? It came from that?
Yeah, but people are talking about it today in Edmonton as though it's a thing that maybe could happen, and I understand that. They're also Roger Dicklin. I've never heard of this
excuse
person.
me?
He's a retired scout
Oh,
with OHL media credentials. But anyway,
one more time.
Roger Dicklin.
Roger Dicklin.
A couple of notes to pass along. Talk surrounding Peugeot to Boston, COI, I guess it's Colorado, Calgary, and Edmonton, and the Isles are interested around Peugeot.
Is
The
it
Flames,
lowercase L?
I guess. The Flames and Ducks are the most active teams in the market, and the Leafs are looking at Bogosian and potentially reuniting with Hainsey.
No.
So yeah,
No.
no Leaf is. I don't think Zach Bogosian's going to be a Leaf.
No. What do you?
That's what's just floating around on Twitter today.
No.
I'm just mentioning that. Kasperi Kapanen, though, it's that kind of stuff that he does that is the X factor. That's what makes him so special. And that's why I was like, if it's him and Andreas Janssen, I'd like to hang on to Kapanen just because of that.
And the plot...
how many teams can say they have a guy that can skate like that?
Very
Three?
few.
4?
Very few. Yeah, it's...
Like David skates like that. Like there are very few players like burners like that.
McDavid, I'd say maybe Larkin and Athanasiou, but they're on Detroit.
McKinnon?
McKinnon. And who else? Oh, I had a name.
Aho? Is Aho?
I had a name just now. Like I'm not really sure.
Like it's tough to
It's a short list. He's in a very elite category of skater.
Right.
He's ridiculously fast. Now he's got his limitations, sure, but that's why you put up with it.
Yep.
And it's great that he was put in a position to show it. Because some games where he doesn't little stretches where he doesn't get those opportunities, you start to go, can we afford to trade this guy? And then you see him just burn everyone's life
And
to
you're like,
ashes
yeah.
in overtime. You're like, oh, that's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And he hasn't exactly sucked in the playoffs for them either.
No, he was good right from the Washington series.
No, and I've liked Janssen more and more since returning from injury. Kerfoot was fantastic against the Coyotes.
That's one of the things I was so happy with last night because you're wearing the North Over Everything shirt right now, and the Leafs, their forward depth, it just reminds me of the Raptors in the way you have your big guys, but then you just keep going down the list of guys who can
Waves.
perform.
Yeah.
It's just you have your big five. And then you have Kerfoot, and then you have Janssen, and then you have Moore when he's in the lineup. You have Engvall.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore. You don't try more.
Clifford.
You have Engvall and Clifford, and it's just there's so many guys who can perform for the team that I'm optimistic for when they're going down the stretch.
Yeah.
Like, I think they can outscore anybody, so
Pretty
why
much.
not just ride that wave?
Yeah,
and if they're fighting for a playoff spot and they learn to battle, who knows where they could take them.
And Mikheyev is starting to take shots at practice. That
Yes.
was just tweeted out by his agent.
Yes.
Engvall was just signed to 2 years. So
Like, when does it stop? There's so many offensive threats that when your top guys are sick with the flu, that you get guys like Kerfoot and Janssen showing up.
the Dam is, I don't know. I still think they need another D, but God, it's fun to have those guys.
Oh, it's amazing.
Have all
Were you
those
not impressed
weapons.
by last night? I was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kerfoot was nice. It was nice to see him.
Did you see his breakaway? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't even mention
And it was a
that
great
in the
save
LFR.
by, oh my goodness, what's the goal?
Aiden Hill.
Yes. Great save. I just,
There's another team who just, we have 3 goalies, cool. Like, friggin' driving me nuts.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, everyone's like, who the fuck is Aiden Hill? Look at his numbers. He's not bad.
No, he's really good. Again, the Coyotes are having a great year. Like, they're in a tough division.
Not a good game, I didn't think.
For them?
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing.
It was a tired team versus a sick team.
Yeah, and if they had won last night, they'd be a point out of first in their division.
wow.
They are 3 points out of first right now.
What a dogfight.
I know.
in the
It's,
Pacific.
and that's the crazy part is the spread is 3 points between first and not in a playoff spot. Or 4 points because it's literally Pacific goes Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, Vegas, Arizona, Winnipeg. Winnipeg's got 1 point to go and then they're back in the playoff.
And a big old monkey wrench just got thrown in there.
What happened?
Too, with McDavid out 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Am I jumping the gun there?
No. I mean, listen, that's going to be tough for Edmonton. I mean, I don't know what else we say is that it's going to be tough for Edmonton. Good luck.
I think based on some conversations we've had recently, they're a different team. They won that game against Chicago. It wasn't perfect, but they won it. All they got to
Hey,
survive.
Riley Sheehan scored, man.
Yeah, man.
That's rare.
They got to survive. And this is when Draisaitl goes, he goes super Malkin mode. I'm not just a product of this other star that I play with. I think the Oilers are going to surprise a lot of people.
And if McDavid's healthy going into the playoffs, or if he gets like these next couple weeks off and is all ramped up going into March and April, that's dangerous.
Ooh.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he could probably use a break.
Yeah.
Something his body's been through.
He gets a little quick break here.
Based on what you saw last night, just going back to the Leafs for a second.
Sure.
Is there anything to be gleaned from that, or is it just it's a game and no big takeaways?
One thing good teams do, because they don't play their best hockey for 82 games, right? They have not played their best hockey for 3 straight games. And here we go, 5 out of 6 points, right?
Right.
So good teams find ways, even if you blow it against the Ducks, even if you get 1 shot in the third against the Habs, it friggin' went in. And even if you have whatever that was against the Coyotes, and even if that goal stands, it's still 4 out of 6.
Yep.
You win 2 of 3, technically, even though you only won 1 of 3. Great point system you have there. That is something good teams do. So they have looked good for exactly none of those games, but it is something that it looked familiar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to nitpick the team when they win. You know? Like, they won.
They did.
I don't want to complain about winning.
Yeah, because
Barry stepped up.
It's about
too.
winning the game, and they won.
I thought there was a Barry Slapshot goal, guys. I was about to lose my mind.
He took a slap shot, and then he's like, let me try it again. And then he tried it again, and it worked.
It went off.
It was very
It
annoying.
always goes off a leg. It's just whose leg and what net.
Right. I'm less picky about Barry's slap shots.
You
Just
should be more picky.
maybe.
He should be more picky.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I look at I want to say it was against the Ducks or the Habs? I can't remember. It was on the power play. He took a slap shot, and it obviously doesn't make it all the way through to the net. But now the puck is just sitting in the slot. And that's a scoring chance right there. And like last night, he takes a shot. He took a shot so hard that it hits Hyman and goes in. And Hyman afterward, I thought he was like celebrating. I think he was going like, because it hurt.
All right. You don't find, though, that sometimes he overcommits to the slap shot?
Yes.
Like, he'll be setting up there, and he'll be like, if this puck comes to me, I'm taking a slap shot. There's no, what are my options? It's, I'm going to take a slap shot no matter what happens if this puck is here.
100%. Like, very often on the power play, I'm like, you have other options. What do you do? I like a slap shot. I like a point shot, and I've called for it for years because the Leafs didn't do it forever, and now we have this guy who does nothing but it. I like when there's no other option. Like, just get the thing on net
The thing is that with
rather
Tyson
than lose
Barrie,
it.
he's so good that there's always other options, right? There's like
Right.
he's so brilliant with the puck. He's amazing with the puck.
He's shifty, right? He had a sick assist, and I want to say his first game as a Leaf against the Sens. We're all like, oh, and he still finds a way to get a point like every game. So it's not like he's doing anything wrong. I just feel like okay, if the Leafs were to win a championship, right? Like one thing I was following along. No. One thing I was following along with.
Large leap.
I know, it's a very large leap. But one thing I was following along with the Raptors run last year is, this is this chapter and this is that chapter. And I just remembered thinking how cool it was going to be. That was me, my bad. How cool it's going to be in the montage video after they win, the Kawhi quote after Game 2 against the Bucks. I'm going back to Toronto for Game 3, and then sure enough, they bang out 4 straight. They beat the Warriors, and it's in every montage of the championship. Well, I'm going back to Toronto for Game 3, and then they never lose to the Bucks again. So, in the montage of the Leaf season, we're gonna look back at Riley being out, the disaster of Riley being out, and going, holy shit, did we ask Tyson Barrie to do absolutely everything? Right? Like, there are the games where the Leafs do well, Barrie never looks graceful at all.
No.
But he looks like he's trying so fucking hard. Like, so hard. And he's battling, and the decision is often wrong. You can throw Dermott in that category, too. But the Leafs are asking a lot of him now, and he's doing his best to provide.
Another major defenseman in the league, and this is where we switch topics from the Leafs to something else. By the way, the Leafs' next game is Thursday in Dallas. Did you have something else?
Yeah, I just want to know if Mike Babcock handing Mitch Marner a piece of paper to fill out a list of players makes the montage. Does it?
Well, that was a couple of years ago.
So
Maybe.
it wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't this year.
The story of the season's got to start with they sucked
Yeah.
when the season began.
Oh, yeah.
I think the season begins with the Marner negotiation. He comes to camp, but then they start planting the seeds of, there's all these little, seeds of doubt. Like, Babcock hates Spezza right away, and they show him.
I don't think that makes
sitting
them
in the. It does. It does. But
makes
then
your
we're distracted because Soup said something charming, and we were distracted for a little bit, and then Kapanen throws the stick at Montreal, and everything starts to come undone.
Yeah.
And then they fly Marner in as the team dog after Babcock gets fired, and we find out about the list. Jesse, I think about this a lot.
Okay.
What?
According to Nick Kyprios, which is a name we have not heard in a while, it's nice to see him kind of back and asserting himself into hockey again. Sources say Shay Weber injury has his season likely over and his future in question. Told injury is related to the foot that was surgically repaired in 2018. While waiting for swelling to alleviate and further confirmation, surgery seemed unavoidable going into this week.
That's tough.
That is tough.
future is uncertain. We hear that more often than you think. It sounds like an atomic bomb, and it rarely ever means the player's done, right? But it is bad for the Habs, and it doesn't sound like he'll be back.
Do you want to hear something crazy?
Oh.
Give me something crazy.
Well, and he won't, because there's money to be made on this deal. But if Shay Weber formally retired,
Okay.
what do you think that means?
Nashville is boned forever.
The cap recapture for Nashville, starting next season, it'd be 0 for Montreal if he retired after this year. $4 million.
Against the cap for
Yeah.
1 year.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next year,
That's bad. That's real bad.
21-22, when he's 36, it would be $4.9 million.
Wow, that's even worse. That is 0.9 worse.
22-23, $6.1 million.
Holy shit. Now that's more than Darnell Nurse just signed for.
23-24, $8.1 million.
That's almost one Sebastian Aho.
24-25, $12.2 million.
That is nearly Connor McDavid.
And 25-26, if he formally retires at any point in the next 5 or 6 years, in 25-26, it will cost Nashville $24.5 million against the cap.
Which would be the largest cap hit any one player has ever had in NHL history.
Yeah,
And it'll be a guy who does not play.
and has not played for them for years.
Adam?
What is the point of cap recapture again?
I don't know how it's calculated. That's what
I don't get what the point is. He
The
doesn't play for them.
NHL,
Why did they
it's-
institute this? This is so stupid.
because they were trying to get teams to be responsible.
Just get rid of it. Like, why
doesn't
would
work.
you do that?
It doesn't work.
It's just so stupid.
it doesn't
I
make
think it would be
sense.
similar to the Kings situation with Mike Richards, where they're like, here's the penalty.
Yeah, but then they never
Yeah.
penalized the Kings for Mike Richards.
That's what I'm saying.
like
Here's the penalty, Kings, and the Kings go, we'll be fucked. And the NHL goes, okay, well, I'll tell you what, here it is. Adam, if the government comes to you today and they're like, actually, we found out you made some sort of error here, here, and here, you owe us $25 million.
Yeah.
I'd be fucked.
You'd
They
be like,
wouldn't-
I do not have $25 million.
And they'd be great. They'd be like, great, declare bankruptcy then.
Yeah.
You're screwed. Too bad.
Yeah. But I don't
But
know,
they wouldn't put you out on the street and make you homeless. That's
I
the thing.
mean, I think they
The
would.
government?
This
Yes,
is
they
maybe.
would. Yes,
this is
they
maybe-
100% would.
Not
Yes,
the
they
best.
would. They wouldn't put you in jail, but they would put you on. Yeah, they'd be like, too bad, man.
I'm trying
You'd have to
to.
declare
Not the
bankruptcy.
best.
You'd have to
Okay.
divest of all assets, and then you'd have to go to bankruptcy court and prove that you couldn't pay it.
Well, like, okay, like if like a manager rips off a client and spends all that money or whatever. I'm trying to think of Dane Cook and his brother. You ever heard that story?
No.
It's wild. Anyway, so he basically robbed him of millions of dollars.
Okay.
And they go, okay, Dane Cook's brother, give back those millions of dollars. And he goes, I don't have that.
Spent it all.
Yeah, spent it all. So that's what it is. So even though he goes to jail, Dane Cook does not get back those millions of dollars.
No.
Right? So I don't know. It's a terrible
I don't
example.
think that example works.
No,
in
it does not
cap
work.
capture.
Basically, the Predators will be able to go to the NHL and go, like, we'll literally just not be able to ice a team that year.
Right. And the NHL won't allow that, so they'll
No.
fix it.
They'll figure it out. They'll ding them. It'll probably still be against the cap. Maybe fine them picks. Maybe
Interestingly,
fine them actual money.
But also, this scenario is not going to come up because if Shay Weber is injured, he will just go on LTIR. He'll
Yeah.
hang out on Robida Island, and the cap hit won't exist.
Interestingly, his
what's
base
the
salary,
point of him formally retiring?
He won't. Yeah.
his base
It's just
salary
a
falls to $1 million a
hypothetical.
year for the last 3 years of the deal. So starting in 23-24. Well, it's the same thing with Roberto Luongo, though. He was going to make money,
Yeah.
but he chose to retire, and it cost the Canucks $4 million.
No wonder.
I don't understand
Thank
why he
goodness
did.
those
Like,
contracts are
Because he
illegal
wasn't
now.
injured.
Oh, he
Like
just didn't wanna
Luongo
play?
didn't have a career-ending injury, so he didn't have an excuse.
But
Here
didn't-
we have a blatant Shay Weber
You
is
can
injured.
find a reason.
Yeah, do you
but
remember, though?
I don't think he wanted to go out of way to do that.
If I remember correctly, in the days leading up to that announcement, they're like, "Oh, he's
Yeah.
hurt a little bit," and people just went, "No."
I don't think Luongo cares.
Oh, no, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Especially the way he was treated at the end in Vancouver. But come on. I mean, so here's the thing with the cap recapture thing. This brings me to my point. Why have the rule?
Right.
If you're not going to enforce it, why have it?
I think it was just to scare teams away from making deals like that. Right?
Doesn't look like it worked.
No, it didn't work. And remember, who signed that deal with Weber?
David Poile?
It was the Philadelphia Flyers.
Oh, that was the...
Yeah.
That was an offer sheet.
Wow.
It was an offer sheet that the Predators, yes, did match, but the Flyers are the one
Wow.
who... Yeah, they gave him like $14 million a year in terms of money.
Yeah.
Because they're like, all right, we want Shea Weber and we'll just screw over the Preds.
Oof.
But the Preds showed them they got Laviolette.
Yeah.
And also made the cup.
And Adam, to answer your question, I think you must ask more questions.
Like
Why
what?
have a foot in the crease penalty and that not enforce it in the Stanley Cup Finals? Why have a wonky playoff system? Why have Gary Bettman say anything if he's never going to say anything? I
Right.
think all of these questions stem from why does the NHL do anything if they're doing it? Because none of it is effective and all of it is questionable.
It's a very poorly run league.
Yeah, that is so...
Like we're not even being mean. We're not even being mean. Like, can you imagine an NBA team being like, "Oh, well, gosh, we just can't do it." They'd be like, "Fuck you!" And like, man, we'll just lose every game if you. Yep, I suppose you will. Like, they just.
Maybe you should have planned for this. It's in the rules.
Guess what, asshole? Like, yeah, we don't care
don't know.
about you in the NHL. No, everyone's got to be. Everyone needs to have.
Not
about
that- I have
63
nothing-
points around February.
I have nothing
gotta
against
make it exciting going down the
Nashville,
stretch.
but like if we have the rules,
yeah.
what?
No, Adam, we have rules. But like, we don't have rules. We just have rules.
Why have a hard cap if half the teams can barely spend to the minimum? But then one team can spend $10 million over it all the time.
Yeah.
10?
14.
The
No,
Leafs
the
are
Leafs are
spending like $500 million.
The Leafs are at like $115 million spent this year in
really?
actual dollars. Yeah.
Wow.
On salary.
Wow.
Crazy.
Someone
money.
was messaging me recently.
The hard cap, like,
Yeah.
What?
there's a
Right,
hard
it exists.
number.
But this is my point. It's not against Nashville. It's against the NHL. Why have the rule? The rule was never going to work. You know that trying to go spooky things at the teams are going to be like, yeah, okay, well, we all saw what you did with Mike Richards, so okay.
Yeah.
Okay, threaten us, Gary.
Wasn't it?
And we all saw that you gave New Jersey their first round picks back after Ilya Kovalchuk retired. So, okay, Gary, cool.
Wasn't it like around Christmas that the Suter and Parise contracts hit their halfway mark? Halfway.
What were those deals? They were 12-year deals?
They might have even been longer
Man,
than that.
that's where your whole hatred of the poor Minnesota.
That's where it comes from. I think they were 14.
The best fans, great people, never said boo to anybody on this show. And Steve goes, you know what? F you guys. You caused the lockout.
They signed $196 million worth of contracts in one day for 2 players. And they suck, and it's awesome. And I'm sorry for their fans, but I don't know. That ownership
You're
can
mad at
maybe
Cliff
frig
Fletcher.
off a little
You're
bit.
mad. Not at Cliff Fletcher, Chuck Fletcher.
Yeah,
That's who you're
but
mad at.
now they're dismantling the team, and all is forgiven.
Oh, okay.
And here, you want to make it up to me? Give us Matt Dumba. There it is. There it is. That's what it is.
Here's an interesting thought. There's going to be a lot of trade talk in the next few weeks, so I want to bring some stuff up. Edmonton, this is number 4 in 31 Thoughts today. Edmonton made it clear in the Taylor Hall sweepstakes that they weren't interested in moving their first rounder for a rental. I'm not convinced they'd want to move Jesse Puljujarvi for one. They just don't want to touch their top defense, and they don't want to touch their top defense prospects. I don't think any of this changes with McDavid injured. The only way I see them any of that changing is a difference maker on the team or team control is in the picture.
Team control. Yeah, they're in such a tight situation. And it's funny that their fans are like, yeah, we'll give you Adam Larson. I'm like, are you that deep on D? Like, I know you got a couple guys there. You're happy about Ethan Bear.
I think they're probably just ready to move on from Adam Larson because of the stigma that comes with being traded for Taylor Hall. I think sometimes that plays a factor. And
It does.
could be wrong about that, but...
But like, yeah, that like just because you lost the trade doesn't mean he sucks
He doesn't.
entirely, right?
He doesn't. But there'll always be that, well, he's not Taylor Hall.
I'm not really sure the Oilers should do much of anything.
I'm not either. I think they're doing just fine. There's a lot of teams that should be doing, Calgary specifically, should be running away with it.
I'm willing to admit I was wrong about the Oilers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I was
wrong about the Oilers. It's weird that I was wrong about the Oilers because I actually praised what they did for a while and then decided to rant about how they still suck.
Well, they did.
I was like, wow, the James Neal deal was really good. They got a couple, cheap burners from the European leagues. What did I hate so much? I don't know. But you did nail it. It was either last episode or the one before. They play differently. They try harder. They have less quit. Frankly, dude, the final 2 months of last season for the Oilers was a joke.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have shown up to the rink.
Yep.
And now they're in it.
Also, the Rangers and Chris Kreider talks are underway. But New York has continued to do its due diligence on his trade value.
Oh, my God. Just re-sign him. I'm so sick of the Kreider talk.
Why is it that you're so sick of the Kreider talk? Is it that it's been going on for 3 years?
At least 3 years. 4 years. I think he was drafted, and it's like Bettman went, we have a... and then never finished the sentence, and now we all have trade blue balls.
Right. The whole time. One trade I do want to talk about, obviously, is the Jason Zucker trade. Yes. So yesterday, obviously, the Penguins make a move. Galch is on the move again.
Yeah, I'm starting to think he might be the problem.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys we went to bat for real hard and did not repay us at all.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yep.
No, but
I hope he's able to find a home and find happiness because I'm not sure hockey's his happy place right now.
Well, Minnesota, I think, got pretty good value for... I mean, Galch is an expiring deal, and that was a salary move. But you could re-sign him if you wanted a guy who has a high skill and just hasn't been able to put it together. But they also got a conditional first and Kalen Addison. Not bad.
No.
And I mean, the conditional first is great, and the first rounder could become a 2021 if the Penguins miss the playoffs.
Which is adorable.
They're not missing the playoffs.
It's a 2020 first, and it's probably going to be in high 20s. Good chance it's 31st.
So, Jason Zucker is one of those players that Minnesota's been trying to trade for a year, 2 years. Talk about trade blue balls, that's what that is.
Yep.
The weird thing with Jason Zucker is people seem to be split on what he is. Because you have people that will tell you he puts away a lot of points. People are like, there are all the other people who will say, well, no, not really that many. Then there'll be people who say, well, he's a good two-way guy. And there's a lot of people who say, well, listen, we've got metrics that say he's not. What is Jason Zucker? And what is he specifically to the Penguins?
Strikes me as Brian Rusty, which is perfect for the Penguins. Mm-hmm. That is, I don't know, it's a real steep price for a guy who has 29 points this season in a lot. Relatively healthy season. He's missed some games, but not like half the damn season. He's one of those guys, like, I remember a couple of years ago, he scored a hat trick on the Leafs. And I was like, who is Jason Zucker? Like, it was before he really broke out. Who the hell is this guy? Merrick brought up a great point on Ice Surfing yesterday. Up to this point this season, like just because Minnesota's been so brutal, Zucker had 75 shots on the whole season. Oof. And last night, I want to say by second intermission, he had 5 or something like that on the Penguins. They ended up losing. It was Tampa. Mm-hmm. Lost in overtime. But he's getting the audition with Crosby. He's won the lottery. He's a guy who can bang in goals. Strikes me as the kind of guy that would have playoff success. Like that type of player.
And they have a couple more years with him after this, too.
A couple more years. He's really, even though he's having a disappointing season, he's not all that expensive. I want to say 5 point something.
4 something. Yeah.
4 something.
5.5, sorry.
5.5. Yeah, so that's not a disastrous deal at all. He strikes me as exactly the type of player that would find success in Pittsburgh.
At what point do we settle on the fact that Alex Galchenyuk's career has been a disappointment? Ooh. 3rd overall pick.
Yeah.
26 now, his 3rd team.
I think we're there.
A 4th team.
We must be there.
Yeah.
What was the
30-goal season? And that was in 15-16. Been in the league since 12-13.
Can you go to the 2012 draft?
Sure.
Hockey DB.
I got it in front of me.
Yeah,
What's
okay.
up?
First overall pick, Nail Yakupov. He's out of the league. Who is it? Murray?
Ryan Murray to Columbus. Galchenyuk third to Montreal.
Like, Ryan Murray is, okay, second?
Yeah. Griffin Reinhart 4 to the Islanders.
Oh!
Morgan Riley 5 to Toronto.
He should have gone first!
Based off this, yeah.
Based off that.
Hampus Lindholm, Anaheim 6.
Good player.
Matt Dumba 7 to Minnesota.
You know what? He could go up to number 1, but right now I don't have him there.
And
Yes,
then
get traded to the Leafs first.
Derek Pouliot to Pittsburgh. Jacob Trouba to Winnipeg at 9. Slater, I don't know how to say his last
Slater
name.
Cuckoo?
Slater
Yep.
Cuckoo to Tampa and 10. There's top
Wow.
10.
That is a brutal top 10.
Yeah, that's not good.
Wow. And
But yeah.
enough time has passed that we can say that. That's 8
Galchenyuk-
years ago.
But Galchenyuk's career as a whole right now,
was
that's
looking
enough
good.
time, right?
It was looking good,
Well-
and then it didn't.
And the irony is he's going to sign for bargain basement money this summer and be great. Because
That's the way it
what
works.
the cap does is you look at the
I wonder if the
production
Leafs
versus
take a
the
flyer on a
number.
guy like that this summer. He seems like the kind of skill guy they'd be after.
There's lots of big old rumors about non-hockey related issues. So he's got some cleaning up
Yeah,
to do.
wasn't there with Spezza too, though? He's
Was
just
there?
too nice of a guy.
Oh, yeah.
Too adorable.
Too much from Toronto.
Yeah.
Too
Apparently-
enchanting of a laugh.
man, the best laugh ever. Yo, he apparently is not going to play anywhere else. So if next year comes and it's not Toronto, he won't play.
Love him.
So he's got to be in Toronto next year. Like,
Please.
he's got to play here again.
Give him a raise, $725.
Yeah. Well, okay, so Engvall is making 1.25
Yes.
for 2 more years.
Yes.
Do you re-sign Engvall just because it's a good idea, or are you re-signing Engvall because something's coming?
No, it's a good idea. And someone messaged me today with like a good point. When is the expansion draft with Seattle?
That is July 1st. Or not July 1st, sorry.
Is it next July?
26th. No, it's this June, isn't it?
Is it?
No, it's next one.
Is it next one?
Yeah, because that's why they got Jack Campbell, because now they have a goalie to expose. Otherwise, it would have been Freddie. That was a huge part of the deal that Friedman was talking about. Now you have a goalie for the expansion draft that you can expose.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right, but also Freddie won't be signed at that point. So they can actually wait on, if they did want to re-sign Freddie, they can wait until the expansion draft's over and then sign him.
Gives them some options.
Yeah.
But no, like and I was saying I don't want to lose Engvall, especially for nothing. But everyone's got to lose someone. The Leafs lost, who was it, Leipzig?
Yeah.
Who I hated losing at the time, and we spent months yelling about that.
No, you spent months yelling
I
about
spent
that.
months.
We were
That's-
like, yo, come on,
We're
get
like,
out of
who
here.
cares?
It's Brendan Leipzig, who gives a fuck? But then you look, and the Leafs, like in terms of getting ripped off by Vegas, probably were in the top 10 of least ripped off.
Right, but
Oh
they
my
were
God.
also,
So-
at the time, not great.
No, at the time I didn't love it at all.
Right.
I thought he was going to be a real player. Like, who gave up? I can't even remember who Griffin Reinhart played for at the time. Like the Oilers did really
I
well.
thought Griffin Reinhart was I don't know, man. Because of what I've been told about Griffin Reinhart, you know, you believe those draft boards and that sort of thing.
Yeah, as a prospect.
You're like, oh man,
Yeah.
there's got to be something still there. No, there was not. No. So anyway,
it was bad.
So yeah, Zucker deal was good. Thumbs up.
Here's how it affects the Leafs. Kalen Addison, right shot defenseman.
Who?
Kalen Addison, the prospect given up
Okay.
in the deal.
Yes.
Oh,
Minnesota's rebuilding.
Shut up. No way.
Yes, absolutely. Now they can afford to trade Dumba.
Here's an affordable
Now they can
guy
afford it.
who was
Wow.
scoring like who played the first 30 games last year on fire.
They
and
can
then
afford
ripped
it.
His pack and
Yeah,
then-
but he got fined $5,000. He's
For
a wild
slashing
card.
Ryan
You
Reeves?
can't trust that. Minnesota has to trade him immediately. That's how it works.
I don't know how. I just don't see the fit. I don't see how it's going to happen unless it's like Kapanen, and I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Well, oh boy, I would like Dumba on my hockey team.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
know.
I would like Dumba on my hockey team a lot. I think he's a good fit. I was talking to someone about this. I don't know if there's one move you can make that would make the Leafs a decent defensive team. Or a good defensive team, or makes you go, oh, look at
There
this
may not
fortress.
be one move. No, you're right. You're right.
Look at this. So you might as well get a guy like Dumba, who's a tough prick, who
Moves the puck.
also kind of fits pretty well with the Leafs because he can move the puck and score. Right?
Imagine you got Dumba, Barry Riley.
Stupid.
Stupid. And then
And
Muzzin.
and Hall and Dermott, Sandin, Liljegren, all of a sudden now you're cooking.
Nobody mentioning the fact also that Minnesota doesn't have to make this trade at all.
No, they do though.
That
No,
that
they
Dumba
do.
signed for 3 more seasons.
that's the
Yeah.
part where
and
I'm
the
like,
Dumba deal
why?
is sitting there for 3 more years,
So
and they don't have to
he's
make
got all
it.
kinds of value.
That's
Like,
why
what?
you got to trade like a very valuable piece, like a Kapanen or a Janssen who's under team control, who's got some speed.
Sure.
That's the thing is that Minnesota has no speed. So the only guy they're parting with is like the least that they want from the Leafs is Kapanen. They need team speed. They need it badly.
Yeah, but they're
so
also-
do the
they're not
Kings.
trying to win.
Kerfoot and Janssen are fast too.
They have him under contract. They can just sit there.
No, their owner is Leipold.
Leipold, yeah.
He is not patient. That's why the Parise and Suter contracts were signed. That's why they've never rebuilt. He's not a patient man.
Oh, so he's dumb.
No.
Call him now.
The expectation is to make the playoffs every year. And for a while they did.
Yep.
So
That's not why you trade a guy like Jason Zucker.
I think in that case it's sort of like he probably wanted out. Like his wife was subtweeting the team later, and that was
Oh, there was no
What?
subtweet.
That was Paul Fenton, obviously. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, I think that was probably going to happen anyway because they'd probably soured the relationship before Bill Guerin even got there. Now, Bill Guerin said if there's no more fight in this team, there will be more trades. Which to me, it's like whether there's fight or not, there should still be trades with Minnesota. They need to move on from some of these
Bill
guys.
Guerin's a former NHL player. Like okay, if we're talking about lack of patience, I'm pretty sure Bill Guerin will out unpatient.
Craig Leipold.
Yes,
They're both just very anxious up in the
I want to make
GM's
the
box.
playoffs. I want to blow up the shitty team. I come from the Penguins. Like,
Yeah, that's a tough step down. What do you do if you're the Minnesota Wild though? Are you what are you dropping? A 26, 27-year-old right shot defenseman under contract
like
for
this-
a solid amount of money.
It's gotta be like a
what-
huge package.
No, what
I
would
don't
you do?
understand
They're
how
not-
people
no.
are just trading Dumba so willy-nilly.
Kasky swell on a fourth. What? It's a
up.
goalie.
Who says no? Twitter poll.
Who says no? Show me the results.
Show me the results. That's right.
Show me.
Show me the results, Kevin Papetti.
That's funny.
Show me the results, Papetti. That's
Show me the results.
I love Kevin. I work with his brother.
Yeah.
Do you?
His brother Curtis is like a big deal around here at Bell. Yeah.
Would you call him a good coworker, bad coworker, or show me the results?
I would call Curtis probably the next guy to run Bell Media or one
What?
day. I'm not kidding. That guy's
He's a smart cookie.
he's next level. You're like, oh boy, he's going to be our boss one day.
So when it
Yeah.
comes to his brother, we should stop talking shit.
yeah,
Is what you're saying.
well, listen. Kevin and Curtis are completely different people. Let's say as much terrible things as we can about Kevin right here, right now. Go.
Garbage.
Garbage.
Piece of shit.
Terrible.
Yeah. He thinks Matt Dumba as a Leaf would be bad. I made that up.
There are people that do, though, and I think rightfully so, because Matt Dumba doesn't necessarily solve the problems that the Leafs are looking for. You said it right there. I don't think one trade solves the defense issue.
No.
Yes, but you could solve it a little bit. There's such
Right.
thing as getting 60% on a test. You might not get 100.
It's just like conversations, like every Leaf fan has had some form of this conversation over the past month. They could use a guy like Brendan Dillon. And it makes me want to die inside a lot. Because, okay, who is better at hockey, Brendan Dillon or Matt Dumba?
Matt Dumba.
I want that one.
He's not available.
Yes, he is. He can be had.
this.
He can be had for Cassie Swoon a fourth. Didn't you hear that report?
It's true. I was
Set
wrong.
into a microphone.
I was wrong.
Has no one asked Mike? Have you seen the Twitter account?
What Twitter account?
Mike, I don't know. I think he's Greek. His name is Mike Literis.
Is that an actual account?
That is an actual account.
Okay, why are we bringing this up?
They supposedly had the Jack Campbell trade first.
Okay,
What, Adam?
and what did
You don't believe Mr. Literis?
and what did the egg account say after that?
He said that you're illiterate.
No, but seriously, isn't it like one of those Twitter egg accounts?
Yeah, I don't believe.
So
that
here's the
they-
thing: you
I think it
can
was-
write a whole bunch of combinations out,
Yeah.
and then you delete them, and then you just leave, and you're like, "Whoa, it looks like he told the future."
Whoa, let's.
You can do that.
And now over to Mike.
I don't think Mike's the guy.
You don't think Mr. Literis is?
No, and I think it's a terrible name, and change it.
Why?
Idiot. Because it's like, well, come on.
Yeah. It's kind of
What do you have against Greeks and or Latvians?
Greeks and or Latvians?
Yeah.
No, I'm a little Lithuanian myself. Got nothing against
Hey.
those peeps.
His dad, Danius Literus.
Yo, but is Matt Dumba just the guy we want now?
Yes.
Or is Matt Dumba the guy that's the answer?
I answered that question. No, you're right.
Adam, ask that question again. Except say it in a cheerier voice.
Is Matt Dumba the guy we want now? Or is Matt Dumba the guy that we need forever?
Oh.
You know what I mean? Is he the guy? Is he the answer?
What if it's sort of like the Muzzin deal in that people went, oh, well, they got Jake Muzzin.
Not Carl Grundstrom!
No, but he's so Muzzin's here, which means Gardner's probably gone. But in the meantime, we got both, and it's pretty fun. You go, okay, Dumba's here. That means Barry's probably gone. But in the meantime, we got both. And
What?
it's better than having neither.
Where is this king's ransom coming
Right.
from
Can you guys
to
discuss
get
that?
Matt
Kasky
Dumba?
Swow and a fourth.
Unless there is a ship in the bottom of
Can we
the
get a
ocean
Q-tip sponsor there, Adam?
filled with all this gold coins that you're just gonna find and ship over to Minnesota for Matt Dumba. I don't know where the Leafs are getting this collection of stuff to give to Minnesota for MD.
Okay. Listen.
Tell me.
Listen. No, I'm about to tell you.
Because you have to give the sun and the moon for Matt Dumba. And Jansson's not getting it done. They don't got a first to just throw away. Are they? Are
They
we?
could go down the line.
Are we finally doing it?
OHL
We trading Willie? Because that's not happening.
No. Then who would get the crown?
Then who would get the crown?
Jesse.
Yes. Stop yelling.
What do hockey teams disproportionately like?
Goals.
Trading for players who are either from or used to play in their city. Where is Kasky Swow from? Vanta, Finland. But he played his university hockey at Minnesota Duluth.
I
don't even know if we need the fourth. I think that gets it done. Kasky Swow, that's it.
have yet to hear a real answer.
Jesse.
Trade a collection of guys off the Leafs who would be value for Matt Dumba. I've been asking that for like half an hour now, and I've yet to hear an answer.
Here's the problem.
I know Matt Dumba would be great.
He would be.
Who are we sending out?
Here's the problem, Jesse. I don't have a good answer for that.
Thank you.
I am merely in one.
Okay.
I am jacked. I want the Leafs to not suck. And I am struggling to... Everyone keeps telling me, this is the problem with everyone having faith in Kyle Dubas, including myself. Everyone's like, oh, this big old Magic Beans move is coming out of nowhere, and you won't believe number 7. That's what everyone keeps telling me to expect. Hey, there's a trade you haven't even thought of, and it's going to happen. And when it does, just you wait. I hope you have spare socks, because the ones you're wearing are about to be blown right off.
The funny thing about the Magic Beans trade that could go down is that the Leafs have the cap space now to do it because Cody Ceci is out.
Because
So
they
all
can
of a
spend
sudden-
$150 million or whatever.
Yeah.
And by the way, the closer they spend to the cap, the more they're able to go over the cap.
Right.
Who fucking came up with this?
Yeah.
Oh, right. The guy who's the current assistant GM of the Leafs. It's kind of great.
But
Yes.
it says Friedman did write that they're going to wait on Morgan Riley's evaluation before they make a move.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. But also, where's the trade proposal for Matt Dumba? So you don't have an answer. Twitter, I assume, doesn't have any competent answers.
No.
So we're sitting here,
I
and our
don't-
Magic Beans trade isn't Matt Dumba.
Yeah.
It's something else.
I just don't think they have the assets to get that done.
Yeah.
Have we figured it out?
No, we haven't. Well, I don't want to let go of any of my guys, and I don't know if any of my guys are enough to get that done, and they've already depleted their picks so badly.
Right.
Like Jack Campbell, God willing, is going to win enough games that the Leafs end up giving up a second in the Campbell deal, so it'll be a second and a third. They've already given up their first to Carolina. Come on.
It's fair to say that Patrick Marleau cost them their right shot defenseman. If they go through the trade deadline
No, Lou
without one,
Lamoriello. Lou Lamoriello cost.
sorry, the Patrick Marleau contract. My apologies,
Yes.
not Patty. The Patty's, I still love him.
Patrick Marleau's never done anything
You can only
wrong.
sign
No.
what's in front of you, right?
Yeah. You know, and they. I mean, it hurt me the other day, and I haven't stopped thinking about the Justin Williams thing that you brought up. The fact that they could have had Justin Williams for cheaper than Patrick Marleau. And
I think you brought that up.
No, I brought that up.
Oh, you brought
Jesse
that.
Yeah,
brought
because I
that up.
read it.
Oh,
I think
I broke the
read
dam.
in Athletic or something.
It hurt me.
Behind the paywall.
It hurt me. Coburg's own. But Patrick Marleau did a lot of great things for the team. No, I think it's just, listen, it's a question of, do you really feel like Matt Dumba is going to be worth losing a young, quick forward who's under control for a long time? And if you're talking about Kasperi Kapanen, it's not because Matt Dumba's not a great player. I just feel like there's going to be other options available to you in the summertime.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah. You can't, and it sucks for this year. But how much better is this defense going to look already when Morgan Riley gets back?
Yep.
Whenever that is.
And we were just saying, Friedman reported they're going to wait on making a deal until they have the information on Riley. So
And that Dodgers appointment was supposed to happen today or tomorrow. So that's going to be soon.
yeah.
So we'll know. And you know what? If he holds out to the playoffs, so what? Who cares? Just
I
make
don't
it.
think he will, but-
They'll make it. Now,
I don't hate this Leafs team how it is right now, pushing towards the playoffs. Like, give it a run. All I want to see is all these guys healthy. Right now, we got the backup goalie. That's problem solved. Clifford looks great. Run with this defense core. Throw in Sedin in there and just see what they can do. Maybe they get hot going in the playoffs because they're fighting for that spot. They go into playoffs, they're hot, they win a round. So I'm happy.
Dubas is going with the parenting style of he's not holding the back of the bike seat. He's telling you to put on knee pads.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's about time, you guys. Go
Yeah.
ride the bike.
Hey, falling hurts, right? Maybe stop it. Maybe don't fall.
That's not bad. That's a good analogy.
Yeah, like this. I'm willing to give. Listen, I've done my fair share of yelling and screaming about this team, especially over the past couple episodes where I was like, they suck and they might actually be bad. I'll give them the mulligan for they're obviously sick, and it's obviously more than like guys who are missing morning skates and
they
stuff like
won.
that. And they still took 5 of 6. And who knows? Maybe it's not even fully out of their system for Dallas. But they got a stretch of games coming up. They got a show.
So
they got it. You
I've got that
come
schedule in
back
front
to
of me.
the house. You go around the block and come back to the house without a scrape.
So you got Dallas tomorrow night, Ottawa Saturday, Buffalo Sunday. This weekend is you got to go for 4 points wise.
Yeah.
You got to
Those two games?
you got to win
Yeah.
Ottawa and you got to win Buffalo.
Who do the Leafs play after Buffalo?
Pittsburgh, Carolina. That's not an easy week after those two. That's 4 games. By the way, they're playing 5 games in 7 nights.
Can I make a prediction?
So your LFR schedule is going to be bananas.
Fun.
And I am going to be in Barbados, so I'll see you
Oh,
guys.
yeah. This is Adam Wild's last show.
Yeah.
Ever.
Oh, gosh.
Whoa. Whoa.
He's leaving the show to stay in Barbados and cover baseball.
They don't have baseball in Barbados? It's
Sure they
mostly
do.
cricket. But anyway.
Nope. I say they have baseball
okay,
into a
well-
microphone. Guess what you have now at Barbados?
Are you gonna
baseball?
Are you going to be able to get the games down there?
Yeah, they have the internet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'll just do, I got my Bell Alt TV.
Oh.
So the one thing is, can you get that on your laptop? Bell Alt
Yes.
TV?
Yeah, just go to the
Okay.
website. Yeah.
What's your beach drink?
My beach drink?
Yeah. I've never done like an all-inclusive. I don't know.
Dude, really?
I don't know how to do it.
Oh my God. Okay, well, here's the thing. First off, if you're going to Jesse did all-inclusive right.
I did not do all
Oh, you didn't do all-inclusive.
No,
That's
no.
the thing, yeah. So there's all-inclusive, which is $800, and you're
Here's
in a
some
cattle
drinks.
car with 10,000 other people, and they're there to get fucked up the whole week. And they're there to, and they bring so what they do is these guys will bring down their 7-Eleven cups that are like gigantic, and they'll be like, there, fill this with vodka. and they'll just sit there and drink it, and then they'll sit in the pool at the pool bar and pee in the pool all day.
Yeah, my parents, they went to Jamaica for their first vacation in 25 years,
Oh my God.
and they looked around them, and they're like, it's been 3 hours since someone got out of this pool.
Yeah. Now,
We're sure they didn't all just have great bladders.
Yeah.
chlorine is potent. There's no question. It probably killed everything, but all the same. Now, interestingly, so the one I'm going to is not, it's all-inclusive apparently, but it's not like, it's not your typical all-inclusive that you're there to get drunk. It's a very quiet one. I'm just going and disconnecting because I need to.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way you do it is you find what works for you if you want to party. So like Jax always, has Jax told that story on the air yet about her brother?
No.
Okay, so we shouldn't tell that
No.
story, but it's great.
Also, Jax is your co-host on your morning show.
Yeah, sorry,
For
yeah,
people who don't know.
on Virgin Mornings.
No, Jax, of course, is a character from Mortal Kombat
That's
with
true.
metal arms.
But TJ almost got kicked out. TJ, another co-host from Virgin Mornings,
Yes.
almost got kicked out of an all-inclusive for swimming in the fountain.
Yeah, that was a couple years ago.
Without
yeah.
the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, without the
Rookie
Stanley,
mistake.
he decided to go for a swim.
an
And that's the thing that happens at those crazy ones. You get, but then when you're at a certain point where your life is crazy, like people go to those because they want to get pure excitement and it's crazy and it's fun and there's entertainment at night and whatever.
Fire Festival, let's go.
At this point, I'm like, please dial down the excitement for a second. I need to just be quiet.
You
so
want
I'm just
to
like,
drink a rum beverage out of a coconut.
yeah, so rum punch is kind of in Barbados anyway. The rum punch there is amazing because it tastes so good, and you get you don't even realize it, and all of a sudden you stand up after a couple of them and you can't.
And you sit back down.
Yes, so that rum punch is my favorite, but there's pina coladas and there's mimosas and there's everything that you can think of. But rum punch is my favorite. Mount Gay rum of Barbados, best rum out there. So yeah, that's what I go with. I'm a rum punch guy.
I get Mount Gay once a year when Fisher gives me a bottle.
Mount Gay's-
He's another Barbados guy.
Adam is also doing a meetup with any SDP listeners in Barbados.
SDP
so
listeners
if
in
you
Barbados.
are an SDP
Actually,
listener
can we
in
check that?
Barbados,
Because we do have
I'm saying it
we do
right
have weird
now.
countries on our SoundCloud that are checking in. So
Yeah.
do we have a Barbados on there? Can we?
I
check
don't
that?
know.
No.
We
I'm
check,
always,
yeah.
I love the gnome thing people are doing with my book. Like I've gotten some tweets recently, like your book's been to France, your book's been to Mexico, your book
that's
is currently at a protest in BC.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
No, I got my audiobook. It goes with me everywhere.
There you go.
So
Where are you doing the meetup?
I'm not doing a meetup.
Is it
And I'm not
in
telling
town?
anyone where I'm
Is it-
staying.
How many people you expect?
No.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm
gonna
not
be
doing
great.
anything. I'm not even telling you two where I'm staying. Go away.
You gonna bring some markers? Oh, they'll probably have some at the
Yeah. Are you bringing copies of Steve's book?
No, I'm
inside?
not even answering your text messages. This is how
There's still 20
not
bucks.
involved with you guys. I'm gonna not because I
right.
don't love you. I love you, but I just need. Here's the thing. This is our last. It's the last breather until mid-July.
Yep.
So I'm taking a breather and I'm taking it now. We don't get the GM meetings like certain other members of the media.
I have a hot take.
What's your take?
Freddie does not play until Buffalo.
I
my
think
hot
that's
take.
fair. And
Yeah.
you know what? That's perfect because Buffalo is in full-on depression mode, and the Senators always play the Leafs really hard. So you need a goalie who's super sharp against the Senators. The Senators, DJ Smith's got us figured out, and the Senators always bring their A game
Yeah.
against the Leafs. And by the way, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that will be in Ottawa. So it will
Oh,
be filled
great.
with Leaf fans. And so they'll want to shut those people up very quickly.
Campbell has done well against the He's beaten both Western Conference opponents. He's faced with the Leafs. Only one who gave him any trouble was Montreal.
Guys, I got a question.
What was that?
And it's not. Oh, well, do you want to continue on the goaltending
Well, I was
thing?
just going to say Dallas is the team who drafted him, and he's going to want to say how you like me now.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, and Dallas, I think, really. I mean, I like the Leafs' chances going into Dallas. I think they're a very good team, but I like the Leafs. I like the way the Leafs played them last time.
That's why I think Dallas is going to come in fucking gearing up.
There you go.
It's a home game, right?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah, I always forget to look up the numbers of Western Conference teams when they do the East Little trip around the division and whether what their numbers are when they do Ottawa before Toronto or Toronto before Montreal or Montreal before Toronto.
Interesting.
Toronto's usually first.
Yeah, because Toronto usually gets them after they land and then the day off, and then they play Toronto and then they go over to Montreal or Ottawa.
Yeah, you can do like you can do a back-to-back very easily from Ottawa to Montreal, right?
Right.
Back-to-back nights and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. So I don't know if like the odds are in Dallas's favor right now. I don't know.
All I know is Tyler
cares?
Seguin,
Screw him.
man. Tyler Seguin always plays the Leafs well. The Stars better land day of.
I hope so. They're a tough team, man. They're a tough
Pray
team.
for snow.
Okay.
Which isn't sportsmanship, but like, no, fuck that. Yeah,
Guys.
pray for snow.
I'm gonna pose something to you that
Strike up
this might be a hot take, but it's my take.
Ooh.
I think in terms of non-paid marketing, Brady Tkachuk has been the single greatest thing to happen in the NHL this season.
Brady or Matthew?
Matthew, excuse me.
Damn.
Brady's been fine.
He's been good. Yeah.
That interview with his dad was cool.
Yeah.
So you guys are brothers. That's cool. But actually, that was a great interview. No, the interview with their dad, Keith, that David Amber did. It was actually legitimately funny. Brady seems like the sweeter, and Matthew seems like sort of a like I'm gonna fucking kill you. I can understand why he gets under people's skin. And the reason I bring this up, and I don't know why I said his name. I was like, don't say Brady, don't say Brady. I said Brady.
How about Brady?
Matthew. What's so interesting about him is how he has been able to get under the skin of other divisional opponents, and it's so big that it goes outside of the divisional story. So tonight, LA and Tkachuk will play each other. It's not LA and the Flames, it's Doughty Tkachuk. Just like
and
Edmonton,
every time they play.
Cassian Tkachuk.
Yep.
And I think guys like Tkachuk are the new, remember how it was like Domi and Probert are going at it. No, these are two highly skilled, highly competitive, mean guys.
They're two team stars that hate each other.
Yeah. This is what the NHL is supposed to be.
Yes.
You know, when Tortorella, that is, coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets, talks about, I miss the hate in the game. I think it's because he misses this. Now, I don't mind that the players stick tap each other and whatever, and their buddies or whatever, and their stars. But every once in a while, isn't it great to see that kind of competitive? Like I want it to be nasty between them, and it doesn't have to be like punch each other's lights out. Just drive each other hard during the play.
I don't remember the Leafs game that it was, but the game right after was the Battle of Alberta after stick flip.
Oh,
right?
yes,
So
that was
there
last week.
The initial Battle of Alberta.
It was Rittich, and then
Cassian and Tkachuk settled the beef, and then the stick flip happened.
Yep.
So, or I think I got the order right. Anyway, and then no, I'm screwing it up. So it was Tkachuk went with No, fuck. All right, we're waiting
hey, listen,
for it
I
to
didn't even
pop
call him by
off.
the right first name.
We're waiting for it to pop off, right? And so I'm watching kind of passively, and then Monahan and Nuge went. Monahan and Nuge? What? And that's when I tweeted, I'm like, all right, everyone, if you're a hockey fan, stop what you're doing and tune in. And then all hell broke loose. And then it was the Cassian Tkachuk. I got my games mixed up.
Yeah.
That's why I was so confused.
I love Matthew Tkachuk, and my favorite thing about him is that he'll do all that stuff with Doughty and blah, 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 and he'll fight the Oilers, the entire team. And then 2 nights ago, he goes out and he walks in front of the San Jose Sharks and he scores the nastiest through-the-legs goal I've seen all season.
Rip it bar down between
Like, the
legs.
guy's doing that with this crazy amount of skill and then also fighting people and getting under everybody's skill. It's insane. It's the perfect combination you want in a hockey player.
Yes, and if there's one player around the league that I would pick to be on, within reason, I guess, if Connor McDavid would be number one. But if there's one player I would love on the Leafs with this current makeup, this is the guy. This is the guy.
Yeah, and he's so perfect for today's game. Like people,
Brady would even be great too. Brady's great too.
He's not like playing in the wrong generation. He's today's version of whatever that is.
Right, and that's what's so exciting is that's emerging now. So that the thing about the face punching generation is like Ty Domi could play, Bob Probert could play.
Yeah.
They were good players,
But that was their role.
That was their role.
Domi chose not to.
They were never on the ice long enough.
And then it became about who's this goon that can't even really play at this level, and we have him go up against other goon that we've never heard of that also can't play at this level. That's when it became crazy and stupid and also dangerous. Now it's two extremely, like I said, skilled hockey players. Cassian, he might be known for his size more than his skill, but the guy's got, 15 goals this year?
Something like that.
He's doing pretty good.
He'll top 20.
That's
sure.
that's the new heavyweight bout to me. And I love that. That's exciting because I'm not worried about what they're gonna do in a fight. I'm worried about who's going to embarrass the other person in their own zone.
And
or
he
something.
ignited the whole thing.
If you look at these hockey players coming up and the evolutional timeline, kind of like humans, if you look at, I would put Nazem Kadri in the middle of that, and then the next evolution is the Tkachuks. It's kind of Nazi was kind of like that nasty kind of player, but he was also had this skill. He was a center, he could play on your first line, whatever. It's probably
Brad
second
Marchand.
line. Brad Marchand, same
He's the
thing.
perfect example.
And then these are the children of those guys, where they're even more skilled and get under skin even more, and are actual legitimate stars, and they do the same things at just a higher level.
If the Olympics started tomorrow and the NHL was in it, Matthew's in there. Matthew's playing.
No.
You don't think he's playing for Team USA?
No.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Wait.
I keep
He's
forgetting
American.
he's not
Yeah,
Canadian.
me too.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, would he make? Oh,
Yes, he's
The-
man of the team.
I think he would.
Both
Yeah.
of them, I think, would.
Ooh, you'd have to give me
And
some time
also,
to think
by the
about
way,
that.
I
but
think
yeah.
Brady's a lot better than what the stats show. I think it's just that
on the
Montreal's
Sens.
or not much. The Sens stink, man. They're not
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. Did I see they've lost 15 of 17?
Would that surprise you?
No. And it's funny because they're one of those teams I like watching the Sens.
Oh yeah, no,
I do.
they always work hard.
Yeah.
They always play an interesting game. It's just that they're just the high end skill isn't there yet. I got a question for you.
Okay.
Why are Jets fans so upset that their head coach that is willing them into the playoffs was extended today? Paul Maurice signs an extension in Winnipeg, and Winnipeg fans are mad.
Remember back in the day when Leaf fans were like, something's wrong with this team? And Randy Carlyle and everyone around him said, no, actually. Remember how frustrating that was?
Right.
That is a
That's because-
little bit of what's going on in Winnipeg.
But we were allowing 40 shots a game and getting 15 and somehow winning. And then blaming it on James Reimer when we didn't.
Yes, it's a lot less
I think it was his
extreme.
fault.
It probably was.
Okay, both of you, take your nipples outside of this room and frig off, all right?
I heard he only has one, so...
Oh, wow.
Right in the middle.
3 belly
In fact,
buttons.
that's what we yelled at Alicia Cuthbert and April Reimer in the stands. Remember that famous playoff thing where they kind of look at each other?
Yeah.
He said James Reimer has one nipple, and she looked back and was like, look at this guy.
He was born with 3 and donated one because he's a great person.
Ew.
Okay.
Who would want that?
Who would... Listen, let's not answer that question, Jesse. I
No,
don't
let's
I
not.
don't think you'll like the answer to it. Where were we?
I don't know.
No, the Jets are they're not nearly as extreme of an example. But you got to remember, and I got to think it melts your brain. I think we just forget. I think you make the conference final. You're in the final 4. Going into that series, you think you have a real good shot at not just the Stanley Cup final, but winning the whole thing. I think that's got to melt your brain for the foreseeable future. And for Jets fans to see anything other than a juggernaut, I think has got to be hard to accept. If the Leafs make the conference final and are then where they are now, which is sort of on the fritz, they're on the fringe of the NHL
That would be
there,
a problem.
I would have a very hard time accepting that.
But Jets fans need to understand from the outside, most people thought that they weren't going to make the playoffs after the Bufflin, Trouba, Myers
Yeah.
exits. Like,
Well,
I mean, how do you lose 3 guys like that and still even be in the race? That's really, really tough.
I think
Not that Tyler Myers is the big...
No, I know.
crazy. You know what I'm saying.
But
though.
I saw something about their offense is way down, like in terms of just generating scoring chances. And I get with the team that you have, you would expect a ton, but I wonder what any numbers would say about how much the forwards are compensating for that defense that is just it's trying to stay afloat. You know, you're getting a career year out of Neil Pionk. You know what I mean? Like you're really digging deep there, and they're relying too much on Hellebuck. Yeah, thank God you have Connor Hellebuck. Like not every team gets that. You show me a good coach, I'll show you a good goalie, etc., etc. Hellebuck is Paul Maurice being paid back for like a 15, 20-year coaching career of never having a goal.
Yeah, 900 goalies for his whole entire career.
Yeah, so I don't really see it as a crisis. I get why you're sick of him, because, I don't know, people just get sick of coaches. He's been there a while. I I just have a hard time going, yeah, that's the problem there. Paul Maurice. I think it's personnel on the back end.
I have a problem. And Jesse, I really need you to weigh on this one too. Okay, this is really important. Last night before the game, did you see what happened with Winnipeg? Winnipeg, Chicago.
Oh, was it? It's two individuals dropped the puck.
That's right.
What?
There was two people that dropped the
Ceremonial
puck
face-off.
because they were honored and joined the Winnipeg Jets Hall of Fame last night. They were
I know this is going to end terribly.
Thomas Steen, father of Alex Steen, former captain, and Randy Carlyle, not father of Alex Steen, but also former captain of the Jets. Both were former captains of the Jets, big players in the 80s and 90s for them, right?
Okay.
Here's my issue.
Okay.
Judging by the NHL, shouldn't the Coyotes have retired their jerseys?
You're absolutely right.
Yep.
Now,
Where's Kovalchuk? Where's Heatley?
I believe that the records belong in the city that they happened in.
Yes.
However, and it seems that the Jets believe that too.
Yep.
However, when are the Coyotes going to do the right thing and hand the records of the Jets, the 1.0, back to the Jets?
Yeah.
When are we going to
know.
stop pretending that this is going
Randy
on?
Carlyle has never scored a goal or recorded a point for that franchise that he was at.
Based
the other
on
night.
based
true.
on that based on those silly metrics
he dropped the puck for never playing a game for that franchise.
Yes.
According to NHL, the actual NHL stats. Never played for that team, dropped the puck for them.
It's like if the Dallas Stars honored Boreas Salming.
Right.
Like,
That's insane.
he played for the North Stars?
No. There's just no affiliation.
Yeah, just
affiliation
not,
at all,
it's
yeah.
not a guy.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's like if the Kings retired Matthews' number. You know,
We just like him. Just a nice
good
guy.
guy.
I don't know. He's not even retired yet. We just think it'll be. We're making a bet.
Look at that mustache. What a legend. Anyway, here's a banner.
Guy fucks. Am I right? Like, you know what I mean? It's just.
That's what it says on the banner.
Yeah.
This guy fucks.
This guy.
And on the back it says nipple.
Times two.
Times two.
two,
Right.
yeah.
Because what we saw on the airplane the other day with Matthews with his shirt open is we know he's got two.
Oh,
Did you see the airplane photo?
I didn't look
He's wearing a
closely.
toque and an open shirt.
Yeah.
He's got the bearing the hairy chest. Good for him. I'm like, damn.
Wouldn't you?
Oh yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I would. Why not? Who cares?
It's the new thing. You dress and look unpleasantly because you can, because fuck you. That's what Line looked like he churns butter for an entire year
Did you-
because he could, and he dunked 40 goals on your head.
Did you see the Justin Bieber meme that's going out? Because he was in England yesterday promoting his album, and he was on a station called Capital over there.
Okay.
And this guy, Roman Kemp, interviewed him, and as he was coming in, there was a picture taken of him under some scaffolding. And they're like, yo, why does Justin Bieber look like a roofer who, once you give him his first check, disappears? Because he looks like a mess.
Yeah,
he looks
that
like
mustache.
a disaster.
Ugh.
But that's the
That's
new
the
thing
look,
now.
man. That's the
the
look.
thing.
And they're good friends, Bieber and Matthews.
Which is
They
weird,
are.
but I get it. I feel it.
I don't know why Matthews insists. Well, I guess it's your friend, but that what is it? Drew House, Justin Bieber's clothing label is just it looks so bad.
It's
And
not
Matthews
good.
continues to wear it, and it looks so bad.
I think, again, because
But that's
you're
why I
22 and who cares?
Right.
Like, if he was, you know.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
I'm
listen,
sorry, I'm
Justin
not a fan
Bieber-
of the hoodies.
Wow.
They're not great.
They're not great.
They're not.
Sorry, I'm not a
Like,
fan
I
of the
want them to be
hoodies.
great. I want to like them.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I like clothes. I want to like these. I don't like them. Have you seen them?
I'm going to have a midlife crisis and wear one.
Oh,
wear
listen,
a
dude, I'd
smiley
wear one
face.
if they would look nice. I just
I'd probably wear one too if my friend was Justin Bieber.
yeah, I'd wear it on his. Hey, listen, I wear a lot of Steve Dangle merchandise, so. And I know that it's not as high quality as Justin Bieber, so.
Yeah, but it's not $65 a goddamn shirt
That's right.
It's close.
or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
hey, listen.
I don't know what expensive
with
Shipping ain't
shipping?
cheap, man.
I don't know.
Our merch is expensive.
Yeah, listen,
We should
I was
up it.
thinking about that. You know, one of the people, somebody actually asked me the other day, they're like, how come you guys stopped making t-shirts? And I'll tell you the reason we stopped making t-shirts. The reason we stopped making t-shirts is somebody showed up to our event and paid $50 for a Steve Dangle podcast hoodie. They washed it once and they showed it to me, and it was a white hoodie.
Was it
and
50? No, it couldn't have been.
It was like, but with
shipping?
shipping and taxes and everything, it was $50.
Where
and
do
it
they
came
live?
in,
Scandinavia?
and the blue just melted off of it. And I was
We
like,
need a merch person.
and we had, yeah, that would be great. And we
need a
had
merch
somebody
person.
lined up, and it was a big brand. And they reached out to us, and they were all gearing up and ready to go, and then they just ghosted us.
they ghosted us.
Yeah, and it was like,
That
all
was
right.
the
Yeah,
big one.
It was.
Yeah.
It's a big brand.
And then a couple weeks later, we called them on Virgin Mornings, and we're like,
Hey.
you ghosted us."
Yeah,
What's up with that, man? No, we didn't.
We
do that.
need a merch person.
We do.
And there's also just, I want to do more than Teespring can offer.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, I just don't want. Here's what I don't want to sell you: cheap shit.
All right.
Like I
For
just
those of
don't.
you listening, it's actually not that bad. But
Yeah, we're still selling it, Adam.
Well, no.
I have these shirts too, man.
They're still good
Listen,
shirts.
I think we can do better. I think we're better than that.
Do you
And
want
I
me to
think people
you want me
deserve
to pull the
I think we
merch?
can. I think we can do.
We still
I
sell
think we can do
mugs
better
and
than
stuff.
that.
The mugs are fine.
I have,
The
I have
mugs
a
are
mug.
great.
I have a mug with my face on it
I
that I've
love
had
those
for like
mugs.
5 years.
The
I
mugs are
have
great.
the mug with his face on it too.
Listen, Mug Spring is doing a great job. You can run that through the dishwasher. It's fantastic. I'm just saying, I would really like for our clothes to be great. I feel like for a $20 T-shirt, we could find another company and do it better.
we need a guy or gal.
Or gal, if anybody knows someone.
All
and I'm
right.
not like, again, we can't take care of shipping. We're not good at that. It'll never get shipped.
Also,
Our
don't buy
first-
stock in Teespring, apparently.
Well, apparently.
Well, if they would just. If the quality went up just a tiny bit, like if you paid more than 3 cents for a T-shirt,
There's
we would
also
have,
different qualities, and the better quality shirts, you make like 20 cents a shirt. Like it's friggin'. We need a guy. We need a merch person.
Yeah. Actually, I read a whole book. I was reading a book on Van Halen, one of my favorite bands, and
Yeah.
it was by their manager.
Sorry.
And the whole thing turned out this guy, like he didn't do anything with them. He was like their touring manager, but they back in the day made millions of dollars just off T-shirt sales, and he formed like a company with them, and he got into how they used to, and then because it was the 80s, they used to walk around, and there was guys that scalp tickets, and then there's guys that make fake T-shirts.
No.
They would go out with a couple of goons before a Van Halen show, and they would threaten people, and if they came back again and found you there, you'd be in hospital.
So you're
Jesus.
saying,
Yeah, it was like I'm like, wow, this is really intense, and I'm surprised you're not in jail.
so you're saying if those Van Halen guys worked for the Blue Jays, the I Heart BJ's guy might be in the hospital?
He might be in the hospital.
He's a good dude.
The I Heart BJ's guy, also the Fuck Brooklyn guy.
The Fuck Brooklyn guy.
Oh,
With
yeah.
also a
Brooklyn
shirt.
guy,
Yeah.
yeah.
With the basketball over the U.
I bought one off him.
I have one.
I bought one
Yeah?
of those shirts.
I still have one.
Yeah.
I think mine's gone. Yeah, it's man, I miss that shirt
It's a good shirt.
because my feelings toward Brooklyn have not changed.
Brooklyn's so great.
No, Brooklyn's fine.
Such a great neighborhood.
Yeah, Paul Pierce retired. It's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, somebody asked me that. I figured I should bring it up. I know
All
we
right.
just did that on the show. I just feel like we could do better. That's all I'm saying.
I think we can do better than that.
Yeah. Guys.
It's a good meeting. No.
Well, is it a
Glad
meeting or is it a
everyone
barbecue?
was in on our Teespring meeting.
Glad you could partake.
Hey man, I've been saying this for years. What? Are you mad now?
Anyway, go underneath our YouTube video.
You know that link we provide?
Cheap
Buy the
shit
mugs.
at garbage.com.
Buy the mugs. I just listen.
Hey, shitty merch at Steve Dangle. Buy it.
Okay, what if? Okay, you guys can be mad at me now, but what if this conversation kicks off where we get high quality merch for people?
That is
What
what,
if
I'm hoping.
What if it kicks off nothing?
That rarely happens.
All right.
We have an industrious
what-
group of
what do you
people
do?
that listen to this show.
What do you do? Cut into our merch sales?
Yeah, it's not like
They're doing okay.
no, they're not.
No,
they're
they're
not.
not.
We're not selling anything. You guys, come on. We're not selling anything on the t-shirts.
I have a bunch of designs I'm sitting on, but it's because I'm waiting. I want a guy.
So let's get a guy.
Yes,
right?
let's
So
get
this was a
guy.
productive conversation, was it not?
This was a great barbecue.
Thank you.
This is a
Thank you.
podcast, not a meeting.
Oh, for fuck.
Guys, Jay Bouwmeester. That was tough to watch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Apparently he has undergone some tests. He's headed home. We don't know much more than that. But let's say, for argument's sake, in this particular case, this is a career for Jay Bouwmeester.
He should probably be done.
Well, who knows? I'm not a doctor. I don't know. He was obviously not at his classic Jay Bouwmeester, Calgary and early St. Louis days, but he was still playing.
Florida. Remember
Florida
that?
too.
Yeah.
High draft pick, guy that I don't think he scored as much as they thought. I don't think he was as mean as Chris Pronger. They were like, oh, this is the next. Everybody was the next Chris Pronger back then.
Everywhere he went, he played 28 minutes.
So, what do you say about Jay Bouwmeester's career if it's over? What would you say? What are the takeaways? What is this guy to the NHL? How close would he be to being a Hall of Famer? Is he a Hall of Famer? Because a lot of people are like, no way. And you look at his stats, you go, oh, maybe.
I was talking to someone about non-offensive defensemen getting into the Hall of Fame and how difficult it is for them. And a name that got brought up was Adam Foote.
Yeah.
Adam Foote was an unreal player, and I don't know if he ever... I think he topped 30 points like once or something like that. But he was that guy. Jay Bouwmeester was not Adam Foote, is not Adam Foote. But he... Because of how highly touted he was by so many hockey people started sort of brush him aside, and I did that a little bit. But, man, that guy played half the game wherever he went. So he'll probably... I don't know if he's going to make the Hall. I think he's got a lot of supporters in the hockey community, in the 200 hockey men. And I don't know if they'd really be wrong. And it was cool of him to have sort of a Ron Hainsey trajectory where Hainsey never makes a playoffs, wins a cup.
Yeah.
J-Bo wasn't quite like that, but I want to say before he made the playoffs for the first time,
it was like Taylor Hall. It was like 10 years.
it was like over 1,000 games or something like that. It was hundreds and hundreds of games that he played without making the playoffs. So I don't know if he'll ever make the Hall, but I think he was so overrated that he became underrated and then stayed underrated for whatever reason.
Can I weigh in a little?
Sure. Yeah, please.
I don't think Bouwmeester ever makes the Hall of Fame because of two things.
Okay.
0 All-Star game nods. Never made an All-Star
surprising.
game.
He never made it for the Panthers.
Never made an All-Star game.
Wow.
Really?
2, no individual trophies.
Right, that's tough.
Now, he got
It's
nominated
tough.
a couple times, didn't he?
Maybe.
Probably in top 3 or something, but never won an award.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe not then.
The Stanley Cup was definitely important. He got in there. Didn't reach 1,500 games. He was getting there.
Where's he at?
He's at like 12. What is it?
1240.
1240.
Which is
15
still in there, though, like
Yeah.
in terms of the all-time.
Yeah, but 1,500 is kind of like the milestone. He would have been, I think I was reading, it would be the 7th defenseman to ever reach 1,500.
No, it's not.
Wow. Oh.
1499 is the milestone there, Jesse. Yeah, I know.
Jesus.
Better number. It's got 99 in it.
Maybe
I
not
just
the-
don't think-
Not the time.
It didn't reach 500 career points. I just don't think the numbers are there. Even though he has one of the longevity in the NHL is incredible, but I just don't think it's there. The stats.
But that was the thing with him, right? Like he, not so much the points, but he was out there every shift. He was
Gaming,
obviously
yeah,
doing
yeah.
something. I want to say his career predates analytics, really. So I'd be curious.
They didn't record goals when he first started
at all.
playing.
No.
A couple years into his career, they invented the stat of goals.
He is one of the latter. Like, he's 36 years old.
And it was the Panthers.
Long career. Yeah, he played 8 seasons before he even got to the playoffs. Actually, technically speaking, he played 10 seasons.
But
Wow.
there's only 3 players I can think of who went through what he went through last night with the cardiac arrest on the bench. That's Yuri Fisher, who died on the bench in Detroit, and they revived him. There's Rich Peverly, who I believe also had cardiac arrest and is such a hockey player that he tried to get back out there, and they're like, no. And there's Alexei Cherepanov from the KHL, and that facility didn't have a defibrillator, and he passed. He died right on the bench right next to Jaromir Jagr after a shift. Oof. So it's that's why I think Bouwmeester's career is probably that's all, folks.
Why take that risk too, right?
Why take the risk? You
made your money.
And you had a good run, and you won a cup, man. It's a blessing you're alive today after all that. So it's I was That was scary, man. I was in the car when it all happened, but it was the first thing I saw when I got home from ice surfing. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I see a lot of praise for the medical staff there, which is
Anaheim.
They deserve all of it. Yeah, in Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, wild.
And with that, we go to the press conference.
Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
Gentlemen,
We are not.
what would you consider yourselves?
I don't know.
Guy.
Nipply guys. Couple of nipply guys.
Hey guys, I am stalling while the webpage loads.
Oh, wow. I like your blue jacket.
This is from Greg Roberto. Would Steve Dangle spend $60 on a Jack Campbell figurine?
Yes, because it'd be one of a kind. And it's hard to get one of a kind figurines for only $60. How do you like that answer there, smart guy? I would definitely do that.
Adam Wilde, question for you. You spend a lot of time on Twitter. What's one of the craziest trades or hot takes thrown around lately that you've seen? It doesn't have to be release related, just NHL wise. What's one of the hottest takes or trade rumors that you've seen?
I haven't fully read the article yet, but I'm going to call the pension plan puppets to task.
That's from Captain Russick.
No, this is a good one. Hang on. I'm going to pull it up. Let me pull it up. This is a good one. I like it. That's a good question.
George Russell.
The pension plan puppets, who no longer follow me because they hate me.
Wow.
They used to follow me.
This is your answer? Pension plan?
Yeah, they have an article on, and I'm just pulling it up. I'm sorry for the wait. I'm just trying to look it up.
No worries.
You suck.
It's about Leafs defenseman, and I don't know why I can't find it. What? Okay, let me find this bloody article, okay?
This is great.
I know, this is terrible. I was talking about it before the show. I'm like, wait, I'm curious to read this. So essentially, what they were talking about, and I don't know where the heck the article went, which is, am I going nuts, guys? Am I crazy?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe it never happened.
No
Maybe
way.
you're garbage.
Hold on.
Let's talk about how Adam...
Dude, fill time for me here, okay?
Yeah.
I will fill time by talking about
Here
Phil
it is.
Kessel.
Found it. Kat, and I apologize to Katya. I've never met Katya, but Katya Knopp, I think, is how you say her name. I don't know if the K spell, if it's silent or not. But anyway,
Double K.
stop big mistaking the Leafs defenseman. And the byline is Cody Ceci is not the anchor like you all believe he is. Now it really goes into, there's a lot of stats and that sort of thing. I'm curious to read this afterwards. But they are also talking, it's basically about Tyson Barrie not being as bad as everybody thinks he is, plus talking about something that I was particularly mad about, which is the slap shot thing. Now, and I think a lot of people, and I think Ian Tulloch brought this up, is the question with Tyson Barrie is, yes, the pros are great, but on this Leafs team, kind of like with Jake Gardiner, do the pros outweigh the cons? With Jake Gardiner, there were absolute cons, but there was a lot of pros that people just could not see. With Tyson Barrie, it seems to be the same thing, only with Jake Gardiner, it was, you knew if you were paying attention and really paying attention that Jake Gardiner's pluses way outweighed the minuses. The question was, is that the same with Tyson Barrie? And so they kind of get into that. So I'm not quite sure yet if it's a hot take, but I want to get into that one because that was like, they're talking about Barrie and CC and maybe challenging everybody's opinion on both of them. So I'm curious. That's the shout out I'm going to give.
Information is always a good thing.
Yeah. And it's good to have a different perspective. You know what's been interesting about this Leafs defense is that usually what we've had on the show, at least in the past, and this is where I'm so glad this is where this is going, because we talked about a couple of years ago where analytics was like, it's like, oh my God, are we still talking about old school versus analytics?
Yeah. I just don't think we are anymore.
No, it's people who are analyzing again. We're just analyzing. So
Right.
people of the quote-unquote analytics ilk have all kind of crossed over to the mainstream, and now they're disagreeing with each other. I've got this that says this, and here's this says this, and both are legitimate. And
here's what I think. Do the numbers match?
yes. And sometimes you've got people who are like, here are the numbers that say Tyson Barrie's good, and here are the numbers that say Tyson Barrie's bad. And both of them could be right. right? Because there are things that Tyson Barrie's good at, and there are things that he's not, and it's sort of like it's a matter of opinion again. But what's great is that we're seeing that become just the norm, rather than it just being like, well, the eye test, and he's got a good stick, and what is this? The Canadian, what is it?
Those
The
people-
Corsi Hockey League.
They've kind of been weeded out.
Yes,
Yeah.
or at least that no one cares. Like when we started this show, it would be like
It was World War III.
everybody get
Yeah.
mad at the dumb thing that Steve Simmons tweeted specifically to make you mad today. And that has gone away largely. The Damien Cox stuff, the Steve Simmons stuff, the stuff that they used to fire you people up about, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, you say what you want to say. Now it's about, all right, let's dive deep in this stuff. And I really like that. And I wish I had more time to read more about it. Frankly, I just don't right now. Anybody with a baby at home knows what I'm talking about. But it's one of those things that's the exciting part, is that's changed completely, and I love it.
Have articles written on the inside of a diaper.
Ah. Hadn't thought about that.
Turn your microphone. It's not finished.
Diaper!
I am,
Nipple!
By the way, I'm so fast with the diaper now that I wouldn't have time to read it anyway. You become like so quick. Oh yeah. You become like a demon. I want I did something with Pampers, and I there's like a parent show, so there's like a dad panel, like a new dad panel. So it's like a bunch of rookies, like, oh, what do you guys know? And we're like, nothing, yay! And then they had us at the end of it do like a diaper changing challenge and I won it. It wasn't on an actual kid, it was on a doll, but I still won.
Very good.
Just want to say,
Cool. Congrats.
you will get very good at it. Do you know the diaper wedge technique? Have you ever changed a diaper?
No.
Okay, so I went I went into, and this is how stupid I am. I went into the hospital that day, allowed my wife to give birth, and still not know how to change a diaper.
Oh, no.
She had siblings and nieces and nephews. She'd learned. For some reason, I was like, nah, it doesn't affect me, knowing full well that I'd be changing plenty of diapers. So the nurse looks at us, and they will ask you this in the hospital if you guys ever decide to have kids. And this is what they'll say. They'll be like, hey, you know how to change a diaper? My wife's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, not really. She's like, let me run it through. I'm like, okay, cool. So what you do, grab their legs, like chicken fingers. Like that's what they're the size of, they're little. And you pull the diaper down and you wedge it underneath. And then you wipe it up.
Steve, are you uncomfortable?
And then you
He's telling me how to wipe up shit.
Yeah, you wipe. Well, they don't shit in the first 3 days anyway. It's kind of this black goo stuff that comes out, but it's not shit.
gosh.
Was it merconium?
I have no idea. Merconium sounds like something out of a Stephen King novel. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think it's in Merconium.
Look it up.
I don't want to.
See, anyway, it
Starts with an M, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not going to do that.
It's this black sludgy substance.
Ew.
But anyway, you just wedge the diaper under so you don't get poopy on the table, guys. You don't want to get poopy on the table.
Poopy?
No poopy on the table. So anyway, now you know how to change a diaper. You wedge the diaper. You wipe with the diaper, and then you wedge the diaper under the bum, and then you wipe, and you always wipe down. We never wipe up.
Merconium is the earliest stool of a mammalian infant. Nailed it! Sorry.
It sounds like something Batman's allergic to. You know?
Oh no! Merconium! My one weakness.
They got me with the Merconium.
I'm just saying. So now you guys know how to change a diaper. So when the nurse says, "Can you change a diaper?" you'll be like, "Yes, but please still show me anyway."
Okay.
But don't be an idiot like me. Learn how to freaking change a diaper before you walk in there. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
You weren't?
No, clearly not.
Tonight, I think it's tonight, Daniel and Henrik are raised to the rafters of Rogers Arena in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
Which I hear is not as good as the Bell Center.
Oh, what? That's not what I hear. I hear the Bell Center is worse than both Rogers Arena and Rogers Place.
and
Also the
Rogers
Rogers
Center.
Center. And also eat shit. Adam Wild and Jesse Blake.
You see, Lysandra Bell is where I believe hockey lives in this country.
Wow.
Oh, goodness.
You know, what I believe is Adam Wild can go fuck himself.
Doesn't matter how many arenas you buy/sponsor. Lysandra Bell will always be Lysandra of the hockey universe.
Wow. Adam. Wow, with an R before an E. That's so crazy.
I think it'd be nice to end the show to just congratulate Daniel and Henrik
Hey,
on two of the most impressive NHL careers in the history of the league.
What do we say about Daniel and Hendrik? What do you say about Daniel and Hendrik, Steve Dangle?
Yeah, how are you going to remember them now that they're still here and not passing away? I don't know why I phrased it
How
like
will
that.
they be remembered?
A one-off. Like, that is a... I don't think we put enough appreciation into how good they were. Like even when they were winning MVPs and President's trophies and dragging their team to the Stanley Cup final, we didn't appreciate how absolutely ridiculous it was that 2 top 10, top 20 talents in the league were frigging twin brothers on the same team.
And they somehow managed to draft them 2 and 3 in the draft too.
It's going to be
and have it work out.
It's going to be a very long time until we see that again.
Yeah.
In any sport. In where else are there identical twins playing together and they're stars
on the same team?
On the same team. It's extremely rare. So forget how good they were. The situation that they were in, how they came about, the fact that they had this wacky GM who decided to draft the both of them 2 and 3 and somehow finagle that, that's a one-off, man. So if you got to go back and watch their highlights, I highly suggest you do it. You can do that with a lot of dynamic duos. None of them look identical.
No. I got to say, I'm going to look at them as not because in the generation they were in that they weren't amazing, but I'm going to look at them as it's a shame they didn't come into this generation. And it's not...
They'd have a cup.
High-flying team... High-flying players in a league that was still very much fighting that.
Heavy obstruction.
Yeah, this is back when the Leafs were signing we need to get bigger, so we need Hal Gill and Pavel Kubina. You know what I mean? Those two guys dealt with you go back and watch any of the games from that Bruins Stanley Cup series. The hell that those guys went through.
You can say the Canucks whined. They had a point.
They might have had a point.
They had a big lot of point.
And I think it's a shame that we don't get to see them against guys like Jack Eichel, like Austin Matthews, like Connor McDavid, like Leon Draisaitl, like all the young Tkachuk, all those young guys. And it's a shame that Vancouver's very, very good again, but I would love to see what the Sedins and Pettersson could look like together.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Wouldn't that be amazing? And so that's the part for me where it's like, God, I wish it was now.
Right.
I wish it was now because that's the excitement. That's how I get the same feeling with that as I get watching Tkachuk and Doughty tonight. I think it's just an exciting thing to think about, to ponder that possibility. And they were so unbelievably good, despite the fact that the league was clearly not, they were ahead of their time. They were what the league was going to become in 10 years.
And think of who the top guys to play as the third guy on that line were.
Well,
I think in order, number 1 was Alex Burrows.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Anson Carter for 1 season.
Yep.
And after those two, was it Derek King? Or Chris King?
It was
King.
Derek King.
King.
It wasn't Chris King. It had to be Derek King, I think.
I had to do a stupid feature on it years and years ago. Supposedly, they act like all Canucks fans called them this. I'm willing to bet it was like a grand total of 3 people called them the mattress line. 2 twins and a king.
You know
what?
No.
I don't hate that. I think that's so
cool. Well, I do.
I think that's all right.
It's all right for a shitty nickname. Who wants to be known as the mattress line?
Quick update. Doug Armstrong has just said Jay Bouwmeester is doing very well.
Good.
They're trying to figure it out, but prognosis is looking positive. Just checking that out. Anyway, sorry to interrupt. But yeah, they didn't, it's almost like they didn't need another person on their line. And I know why they put Alex Burrows on that line, because everybody was dogging them and taking liberties with them. And Alex Burrows would chop your head off. He didn't care.
Yeah. Oh my God. Just a guy with no regard for your well-being.
Doesn't care.
At all.
You're not on my team. I don't care.
Yeah. If you're on my team, welcome. If you're not, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Kessler was like that too. And it's interesting to see that relationship sort of mend, because Ryan Kessler is notoriously hard-headed, and the way it ended in Vancouver was not great.
Yeah, what happened there? I didn't understand
so if
that.
you remember at the time, Ryan Kessler said they were really bad, and they hadn't accepted the fact that they were bad. And Mike Gillis was still in charge, I think. And that happened during this show. But what he said to them was, trade me. And he was very valuable. He said, but only to Anaheim.
Oh.
And they got almost nothing for him, because he would only go to Anaheim because he had a no trade clause. And so I think Vancouver fans were rightly sort of pissed at him for that. And he was sort of because Ryan Kessler, I don't know if he's a dick or if he's just curt. but he's very blunt, right?
I think the answer might be yes.
Yeah. He's like talking to a baseball bat. He hits you with like, bam, there's a sentence. And you're like, whoa. And I think his apology this week I think it went a long way because he had a lot of great years in Vancouver and was another one of those
years.
Absolute warrior for them.
Yeah.
Warrior.
He, what Canucks fans always tell me is he won the Nashville series on his own, the second round series that year. The problem was he had like nothing left in the tank. He was so busted and beat up. Mm-hmm. And that's the risk players like him sometimes weigh.
That's what happens.
I always knew Sean Avery as a guy who was wicked in the first round. And then like didn't after the Kovalchuk series, the famous Kovalchuk series, Thrashers win the division, finally make the playoffs, and they get swept by the Rangers. If I'm not mistaken, Avery wasn't very good in the second round, and I think it's because he had didn't he have like a ruptured spleen or something like that?
Wow.
Yeah, broken ribs, and
Yeah.
It's a tough go.
Is that it for the press conference, guys?
That's it. My favorite thing about Daniel and Henrik, I think the most impressive thing that they did was have the same last name. It's very impressive how they turned out to be twins and had the same last name.
Crazy.
It's like, wow.
Wild,
It's
right?
like coincidences. Crazy.
And
Life.
if you take Sedin and Sundin, you get Sandin. Almost.
And you know what? All of them have nipples.
Whoa.
4.
Maybe more.
We'll never know.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness. Connection complete.